Look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Senior District Court Judge Susan Oki-Molloy has ruled that the United States failed to demonstrate that the Chamorro Land Trust Act is based on race or national origin, and therefore the federal court cannot make a determination that Guam has violated the Fair Housing Act. Her ruling was issued Friday, rebuffing the Justice Department's lawsuit, which sought an injunction against the Chamorro Land Trust Act, which it claimed was racially discriminatory because it denied non-Chamorros the opportunity to lease land in violation of the Fair Housing Act. However, injunctive relief still remains an option for the federal government. Judge Molloy's ruling merely concluded that at this stage she could not conclude that the CLTA was a race-based entity. She wrote that the record still has to be further developed to address whether the trust operates as a compensatory relief agency, providing land leases to Guam residents whose land was taken following the war. While the CLTA may not be a perfect means of returning lands to people who had land taken, the court said the lack of records may make the CLTA a reasonable means of returning land. Attorney General Elizabeth Barrett Anderson, following the decision, called it overwhelming. A man walking across Route 10 in Manilao Friday night was hit by a pickup truck. He was rushed to Naval Hospital, where he was pronounced dead just before midnight. This was the 25th traffic-related fatality on Guam this year, 14 of which have been pedestrian deaths. It happened just before 11 o'clock Friday night along Vietnam Veterans Highway by the American Medical Center. The man was crossing the road from the medical center towards Champion Sporting Goods when he was struck by a Dodge Ram pickup traveling on the inner southbound lane. The driver of the pickup stopped, was questioned by police, but has not been charged. GPD spokesman Sergeant Paul Tapau says the victim is believed to be in his 40s, but his identity is not known. He remains a John Doe at this time. Anyone with information about the man's identity is asked to contact police at 472-8911 or call Guam Crime Stoppers at 477-HELP. We'll have more news after this.
Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from Ruby Tuesday. Buy a $25 or $50 gift card for those on your shopping list. Get a $15 bonus coupon with every $50 card purchase. Some extra holiday happiness from Ruby Tuesday. Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from Chuck E. Cheese's Guam. Get a free medium pizza with every $25 gift card purchase and a free extra large pizza with every $50 gift card purchase. Some extra holiday happiness from Chuck E. Cheese's Guam.
Boldly styled, meticulously refined. The 2019 ES350 features a longer, wider stance and a sleek coupe-like silhouette inherited from the flagship LS. The ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive. Visit the Lexus showroom today at Atkins Kroll during the December to Remember sales event. Drive home a 2019 ES350 for 0 down and 1.99% APR for 60 months. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details. Experience amazing.
11 minutes past 6 a.m. here at The Point. The partial shutdown of the federal government will, at least initially, have a minimal impact on Guam. The U.S. Postal Service is not affected by the shutdown, and postal operations will continue. Park roads, walking paths, and memorials at the War in the Pacific National Historical Park will remain accessible to all visitors. However, War in the Pacific Superintendent Barbara Alberti says emergency and rescue services may be limited and restroom maintenance and trash collection will be affected. The partial shutdown went into effect at midnight Friday after Congress refused President Trump's demand for funding to build a wall along the Mexican border. It is not expected to be resolved until January. Congress adjourned Saturday for the Christmas holiday. Beyond the partial federal shutdown, today also happens to be a federal holiday on island and throughout the states. It was declared last week by President Trump. Both the post office and the Warren Pacific Park, however, are unaffected by the federal holiday declaration. The Park Service will be open. Stella Numa Visitor Center and Bookstore will be open along with all the post offices in Agana, Tamuning, and Barrigada. However, all other federal offices and agencies, except those that need to remain open for reasons of national security, defense or other public need, they will be closed. Governor Eddie Calvo on Friday also declaring today a holiday for Government of Guam employees. All GovGuam offices closed today, the day before Christmas, in line with the federal holiday. For those stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now take a look at weather.
All right, let's do, wait, open the microphone. Let's go ahead and do that. Partly cloudy skies today, Kevin. Breezy, hot with isolated showers. Winds out of the east, 20 to 25 miles an hour, decreasing a bit overnight. Highs 89 degrees with the maximum afternoon heat index today about 100 degrees overnight. Lows should be as low as about 76. Nice, it's getting cooler. Sunset tonight at about 6 o'clock. Sunrise this morning, not for another, I don't know, half hour or so, not until about 6:40. Now, when I woke up this morning, the alarm went off, and like I said, it's my Android alarm system,
right.
And so it was the lady at Google that was telling me that there was going to be some wind, and maybe I ought to bring a jacket with me. Where's all that coming from?
Well, we've got a tale of two pressures. Basically, we do have a designated weak disturbance, 96W Invest, which is down to our south. And it's pulling away to the southwest of us. And that's a low-pressure area that is actually developing very slowly, but it's going to stay weak as it moves on towards the Philippines. But when you factor that in with the high pressure that's building in from the north, then you have what's called the pressure gradient. And as you can see, 96W down there just kind of swirling about as it tracks on to the west northwest towards Mindanao. Yeah. So, and when you get the pressure gradient, that's what happens. You get those two things, two wind flows that are getting squeezed together. And that's one reason we're going to have the heat index today, is because there's a little bit of lingering moisture that's associated with 96W as it pulls on away. The reason we won't have a heat index tomorrow is because that should pull away by tonight, and that's going to clear the skies out and actually allow a bit of that northerly surge to come on down here and dry the air out just a little bit.
All right, so if everybody watching on Facebook Live, and if you're listening on the radio, I got a couple of different images that look like they're competing in my head. The radar image, where you can clearly see the low altitude stuff moving from east to west. But if you look at the satellite imagery, you take a look at what I expect must be high altitude stuff that's going in the opposite direction.
You're exactly right, and that's what's happening there. And it's what they call that is an anticyclone, upper level anticyclone. Pardon me. And so that's what actually takes place when a tropical system starts to develop. It has to be there for a system to develop. And so we're getting a little bit of that anticyclone over the top of us here. That is all upper level stuff. Nothing to worry about.
I'm not anti anything. I want you to know that. It's a love all, accept all. It's, 6:15? That's news and lots of weather together. Brought to you by Bank Pacific. Where others put branches, they place roots.
One of the longest-running primary care clinics on Guam, the FHP Health Center, has been your convenient one-stop healthcare clinic for you and your family for many generations. FHP's highly trained and well-known medical, dental, and vision providers and their friendly clinical support team are here, ready to take care of you. In addition to the excellent care, FHP offers a full-service pharmacy, laboratory, radiology, and specialty care center in one location. FHP Health Center, our island, your clinic. Most insurance accepted, including Netcare, Aetna, and TRICARE.
And still time to take a look at the crazy holiday menu that they've got over at King's. I hope they keep some of this stuff permanently, because it all looks good. You get the holiday combos, and it's basically some of the same things that you'd order anyway. Bone-in ham or marinated fried chicken and chopped ham and breaded shrimp, but they all come with a roast turkey component to them. It's all been added in there. So you get all of that other goodness, the other protein goodness, with roast turkey on the side, because it's the holidays, and it's one of our favorite flavors. Don't often get it. Turkey sandwiches, roasted turkey, piled on your choice of bread, served with French fries and a side of cranberry sauce. Kazumbi, it's the holidays. Merry Christmas from the crazy menu at King's.
Because I just signed up for a 12-month iConnect plan, I'm automatically entered into iConnect's Connect and Win giveaway. iConnect is giving away a trip for two to Manila with a stay at the new Holiday Inn Express. They'll also be giving away an Apple Watch, Apple TV, more Mabuhay miles, Fitbits, and Beyond the Box gift cards. Go to iConnectGuam.com for details or call 888-8888 to learn how you can connect and win with iConnect.
Conditions apply.
Is it my turn to do all of this stuff? The big read? Here we go. Portions of The Ray Gibson Show. The Christmas Eve version of The Ray Gibson Show is brought to you by American President Lines, where they're shipping the future of Micronesia renewable energy. There's never been a better time to go solar. American Water Tech, smarter water, better water, and Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for your open heart surgical needs.
Holiday Tritons, this is Chelsea Ting, Communications Officer with Bank of Guam and proud alumna of the University of Guam, class of 2015. I made some of the best memories during my time as a Triton, but I also remember that it wasn't easy to pay for everything that I needed to graduate on time. I have committed to giving back through the G is for Giving campaign, which will help student scholarships, programs, and activities, and I encourage you to do the same. To make a tax-deductible donation, log on to supportuog.org by December 31st or call 735-2975 for more information.
Viva UOG!
Panic shopping time, ladies and gentlemen. And you know, it's panic shopping time when, like, gift cards start to look really, really good. And you look for those. It used to be, you could see them in more than one or two places. Those little spinning kiosk things in the department stores and drugstores and stuff, where it was just gift cards from everybody. You had Amazon gift cards, you had Apple gift cards in there. You know, you get some of the big box stores and stuff like that. Where do we find these Subway cards? Subway, there's 14 locations. There's one near you right now, and you'll be able to go in there and grab a gift card for somebody. It is a gift that will continue to give on your behalf all year round, as long as you buy a little bit more than $5 worth. Come on, put $10, $15 worth into the card. That's a bunch of meals that your loved ones will be able to enjoy at Subway.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
So how you want to get started today? This is the regular way. We'll try it the regular way and see what happens. Welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. It is the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. My name is Ray Gibson. I'm just thrilled to be here with you on a Monday morning. And I really mean it. I really mean it. It was always part of our plan here to have a Christmas Eve show. Even after the President of the United States said, you know what, federal holiday, everybody take it off. And there was federal.
And Governor Calvo.
And we had federal shutdown. So some of you are going to have to work for which you're not going to get paid. And then Governor Eddie Calvo just couldn't resist it. He just couldn't resist it.
Too tempting.
Burning a hole in the administration's pocket. Say, let's have another holiday. This after a lot of sharp criticism that came out after the surprise holiday, the unscheduled holiday on Thanksgiving. But what the heck? Now we're going to have one on Christmas Day. And does anybody want to put any money on whether or not we're going to have another 4-day holiday next week? I'm positive. I am positive it's going to happen. The word is already. People have, even though we haven't really heard anything from the governor's office on it yet. The word from around some of the Gov Guamis that I know are. It's money in the bank. It's like money in the bank, baby. It's gonna happen, and so you can start planning now for another 4-day holiday starting on Friday.
Nothing really gets done here anyway, so I don't think we're gonna miss it.
We're missing. Are we missing out? Because people are gonna get paid whether they work anyway, right? So is it just the productivity, the inability to get things done in the government, and people going, well, wait a second, I need to go by the Department of Revenue. That, you know what? That could be your excuse for everything. You get pulled over and you don't have a driver's license.
Right.
So I couldn't go to get my driver's license because the Department of Revenue and Taxation closed 4 days in a row.
You know,
what am I supposed to do?
Trying to put a positive spin on this. It's just one day less that they could screw something up.
I was trying to put a positive spin on it. You got expired tags on your car. Well, I couldn't get the car. I couldn't get it renewed because Rev and Tax was closed. What's that?
You got a little tiny kind of venereal disease that you want to get taken care of, but you can't. I can't get to the Department of Public Health so that I can get my shots and my 18 Z-packs in a row. So I've got no choice.
It's like a tiny atomic bomb.
Well, that shows you how old I am. I don't think they call them that anymore, do they? The venereal disease, didn't they call it STDs now, STIs?
Yeah.
Anyway, so let me introduce the cast of characters that I get to play around with on Christmas Eve morning. I've got Michael Knight, who gets the phone when you call it. 88. What's our phone number?
888-8255.
8255. Okay, I'm sorry. It was a long weekend. Sorry. Imagine if we'd had a 4-day weekend coming back to this after on Wednesday.
I'd have to be retrained, probably.
Just everything is blurry. It's all kind of cloudy at the edges of my periphery. 6:22 in the morning. Yeah, so call that number. 888-8255 is the telephone number here at the radio station. Kevin Kerrigan, who's got just an incredible body of work over the weekend, and we'll be talking about some of those big stories here. I've got a whole list of incredible talk topics, and frankly, they have to be incredible because you figure it's a holiday for a lot of people, and most of the folks that we want to get a hold of are in one of, I think, 2 different kinds of conditions right now, maybe 3 different kinds of conditions. You got your regular, I've been partying nonstop since Friday afternoon, kind of that kind of Monday hangover, right? So they're going to be tricky to talk to. And then you got the ones that I've been shopping nonstop since Friday afternoon, and I've got, just shopping hangover, and maybe you got home yesterday just bags and bags and bags of stuff, and you were thinking exactly as I was, and it got a lot more reaction on Facebook than I thought it was. Is now I got to wrap this crap? Can it not? No! Can we start doing a thing like when I was growing up? You went to Japan, and you go in a department store, you buy something, and before you leave, they wrap it up.
Yeah,
they put it in nice, pretty department store wrapping for you. So it goes into a box. And here's the box. We'll wrap it and seal. When we were, Shelly and I Shelly ought to remember this well, and some of the other kids that we grew up with that had part-time jobs at my grandmother's place, Mariana Sales. We didn't bring in high school juniors and seniors at the store to wrap presents for people. If somebody come in the holidays and said, "Can I get all of this stuff wrapped up?" It was just a matter of courtesy to the customer. Yep. Yeah, we'll wrap it for you. And the worst thing was if there was nobody else around to wrap and I was there. I knew how the machine worked. I just wasn't any good at it, and so I did that. I screwed it up a couple of times, just enough so that my grandmother said, "You work in the warehouse, okay? Go back upstairs, change, put on warehouse clothes. You work back there." But that was a standard. That was the norm back in those days. There was some place where you could go and have your presents wrapped before you left the store. That kind of thing. I don't know when that stopped, but I'm missing it now. There's other people I want to say good morning to before we get started. So let's jump into the Facebook.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. Glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name.
And it would not be a morning, any kind of morning, if Ismael wasn't among the very first one to get online and say hello and happy day before Christmas. Tom Toddsy, good to see you there with your good morning wishes to all of us. Anita Muffness, and I get Christmas trees with the Valentine's eyes. That's very nice. Lynn Vince Bora Polino, also definitely one of the people that starts her day. The 93.3 Point Way. That's nice. Teen Nelta Nelson Maury. Nice to see Judy Shockley is there. Nick Perlosky, Governor Carl, T.C. Gutierrez is online. Good to see you, Uncle Carl, and Merry Christmas to you and the entire family. I hope everybody is up around, hanging around the house today. Felix Regis is there. Henry Gonzalez, who's an extended trip on Guam. Nice to see Darlene Bloss there. Lynn Vince with her wishes. Good morning, Ray. Merry Christmas to everyone at the point. Right back at you. Lillian Cruz, good morning. Day before Christmas, Ray, Kevin, and Michael. Linda Gabriel is there. Joe Bloss with a morning wish. Dave Torrey, how was the movie yesterday? Which one did you guys end up watching? Was it the Aquaman show? I'm curious about that. If I'm very lucky, Blake Watson will be back in the building this morning.
Yeah.
With a couple of things, return to the world of sports. But for those of you that watch Facebook Live, you know that Blake has begun to grow his hair and his beard, so he, at least on the face part, looks like the guy in Aquaman.
Yeah, a little bit. But that's wishful thinking on his part, I think.
A little bit, yeah. There's a similarity in that you both have long hair and a beard, and it's black. But I think that's where the similarity ends. But I don't know. I've heard I have not heard anything good about the movie, and I thought I'd seen somewhere on Facebook, one of the social medias, where the critics have pretty much panned it.
Yeah, that's what I hear too. It's just kind of a big miss.
Joe Leoselanyi is there, and you know, Joe, I also noticed on Facebook that your daughter Neve has done some fishing yesterday. I saw her with a picture holding a big mai that needs to get cooked, and I'd love to know what the Samoan recipe for that is. Cousin Tommy Barcinas is there. John Ray Titano, Ryan St. Nicholas is. Merry Christmas to my radio brothers. Well, happy Merry Christmas to you as well. And Ryan is old enough and had been in radio long enough to remember before we had the significant technology that we've got today. Where if you were the part-time guy at the radio station, like Ryan is here, if you were the part-time guy working Saturdays and Sundays on the radio station, on Christmas Day, you would have one of those shifts. You would have at least one of about 4 6-hour shifts. That's which the way we did it back in the early days.
Right.
Like I said, we didn't have the automation stuff, so somebody literally had to be at the radio station to push the button to play the next song, or to get the commercials on the air, or to actually, Christmas Day, there were never any actual commercials. They'd all been sold out the day before. But newscasts and things like that. And so, yeah, my close, very dear personal friend, Ryan St. Nicholas, we are radio brothers because I'm sure you and I both had our shares of 6-hour shifts on Christmas Day and New Year's Day, etc. Greg Karabrock. Greg Garbrock's listening, and hope you're watching on the Facebook Live. Got my Take Care mug here filled with a whole bunch of coffee that I made this morning. Nice to have you there, and I hope you guys have a great year over at Take Care. Chris Watson, good morning and Merry Christmas. There's Melissa Perlosky, listening and watching on a whole different account along with her husband, Nick. That's nice there. Isaac Banks says, good morning. Oh, Isaac's the guy in the States. Ishmael. Big sister Shelley Gibson there. Dave Torrey says, good morning, Ray. We took Dree to watch the new Spider-Man movie. Aquaman is for tonight. Family Christmas Eve tradition. And there were a bunch of people noting, a couple of little kids, when I was picking up some gift certificates yesterday at the movie theater. There's a big sign up in the front that says they're open on Christmas Day and they're going to be open on New Year's Day. And I thought it was one of those kind of heartwarming things. A little kid asked his dad, "Why are they open on Christmas? You know, nobody's going to go and watch the movies." And the dad says, well, you know, not everybody has a family. Not everybody has, you know, people that they can be around on holidays, you know, people that just moved to Guam or people that are in the military. And so that's why we like to have the movie theaters open on Christmas Day, so they've got someplace to go to. And the little kid says, well, and this is the part that made my heart melt. He says, can we have some come to our house? Oh, right there in the fields. Right there, and you know it's Christmas time. That's and I'm looking at the kiddos. Well, what are you having? what are you cooking over there? That's nice. Shelley says Aquaman and yes exclamation points. Who else is there? Cheryl Ochai. Nice to see you there, sweetheart. Richard Arroyo, got a kick out of calling you on your morning DJ days at Hit Radio and watch the phone line blinking, knowing it's me doing that as a kid in the 1980s. Well, I'm glad that I was a part of your holiday traditions. That's nice. Always nice to hear that. What do we get to do? What do you want to do today? I'm looking over the table of contents.
Let's declare a holiday.
I brought eggnog.
You did? Did you bring the good eggnog?
Of course. Is there any other kind?
No. Well, yeah. There's the kind that's not good.
Well, that's the kind the other guys bring.
There's the The early memories of eggnog, and I was actually surprised it tasted as good as it is, considering they stuck a raw egg in there.
Right.
I said, wait, what are you doing there? What's that's good by itself. What are you doing with the egg? And the egg goes in, and it's mixed up a little bit more. And I thought, oh, this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I haven't had a drop of that this year.
Oh, well. Got to fix that.
Does Heineken make something like that? Is there a Budweiser version of eggnog? I know the Foremost people have got it, but I haven't seen any of that out there anywhere. I tell you what, we'll regroup here while the news and the commercials are playing. It's I don't know what kind of program it's going to be like today. This is one of those in the broadcast calendar. There's days where you got a pretty good idea, pretty good beat on where the program is going today, and then you got days like today and. Frankly, I have no idea. I know it'll be interesting because I never talk about things that aren't interesting to me. So I know it's going to be interesting. I hope it will be interesting and enjoyable for you as well. 6:32 in the morning, and let's jump into some headlines. From the Guam Daily Post, here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, despite objections from territorial delegates and governors, the ban on cockfighting in the U.S. territories is now federal law. President Trump signing the massive farm bill into law Thursday in Washington, which includes a provision extending the long-standing federal ban on cockfighting to Guam, the CNMI, American Samoa, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. The acting president and CEO of the Humane Society of the United States, Barbara Block, telling the Guam Daily Post Friday that her organization is entirely supportive of banning cockfighting. It's a blood sport whose time has come and gone, she said. Block said the ban does not take effect immediately. It will be phased in over a period of 1 year. Once it does take full effect, those who sponsor or exhibit birds in a cockfight face a fine and a maximum prison term of 5 years. Attending a cockfight would be punishable by a fine and up to 1 year in prison. Ed Garrido, the chairman of Guam's Cockpit License Board, had his own concerns. He said if it's banned, that puts us out of commission. He predicts the sport would go underground. When asked how and who would enforce the cockfighting ban, Guam Attorney General's spokeswoman Carlina Charfaro said this is a federal enforcement matter. Please seek out the U.S. Attorney's Office for answers. May Blas, the spokeswoman for the U.S. Attorney's Office, said there would be no comment on the issue at this time. A 29-year-old man is under arrest on a criminal sexual conduct allegation for allegedly having sex with a 15-year-old girl he met on Tinder, an internet dating service. Guam Police spokesman Sergeant Paul Tapau reports that Ryan Michael Pollock of Manila was arrested following a complaint last Thursday from the Air Force Office of Special Investigations. Pollock told detectives that he communicated with the girl on Tinder last Tuesday, and 2 days later he went to Pollock's home where he said they had consensual sex. He says the girl told him she was an adult. Pollock was arrested and charged with third-degree criminal sexual conduct, fourth-degree criminal sexual conduct, and jurisdiction over an adult and custodial interference. Tax refund checks totaling nearly $1 million are in the mail on their way to 314 tardy taxpayers. These checks going to taxpayers who filed their returns after the April 15th deadline. Governor's office says that the checks were mailed Saturday. They may arrive just in time for last-minute Christmas shopping today. Guam post offices, of course, are open today. President Donald Trump's declaration of a federal holiday on the day before Christmas does not apply to the U.S. Postal Service. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
6:35 in the morning. Thanks, Kevin. Still time from iConnect for you to get involved in the Connect and Win contest. iConnect's going to be open today because we're in the private sector. So swing by the nearest one and get yourself signed up for one of these 12-month plans for push-to-talk or mobile or internet, and that could get you and a friend all the way to Manila. 'Tis the season for winning with iConnect.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagåtña, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
What happened? Well, oh, Wendy's. Oh, talk about the Wendy's thing. All right. Did we change the copy yet, or is it still the one with, there it is, the bacon maple chicken sandwich. A brand new sandwich made with hot, crispy, home-style chicken fillets, topped with Swiss cheese, apple wood, smoked bacon, and drizzled with a sweet and savory maple glaze, all in between a warm and fluffy croissant bun. The limited-time sandwich brings back the flavors you are craving for this wonderful time of the year. Stop by and try one today at Wendy's. Quality is their recipe.
Helen Keller once said, "Blindness separates us from things, but deafness separates us from people." At Ross Hearing Aids, it's their mission to keep you connected to the moments and the people that matter most in your life. Hearing aid technology has never been better, so schedule your complimentary hearing consultation today. Call Ross Hearing Aids, 637-HEAR, 637-4327. You should hear what you're missing.
I love you, Daddy.
How's your hearing?
Daddy, let's go find people. Let's go find people that don't have any family or friends to hang out with on Christmas Day and invite them to our house, and we'll make them feel like they're family and that they're loved and cared for. Right there in the fields. I got another one of those field story for you in a second. Is it time for right now traffic? Let me take a look here. Either the gizmo is broken or there is no traffic this morning. My guess is there is no traffic this morning. Gov Guam holiday, federal shutdown, all of those kinds of things. There ain't nothing going on the roadways, so I guess you can get out there and drive as fast as you want to. That'll be fun. Just blow all the lights. I didn't just make that recommendation on the air. In my head, I did, but I didn't really mean it. It's 6:38. That's right now traffic here on The Point.
Welcome to the annual holiday swap. Harold, you first.
Oh, it's a Subway card.
Wow.
Nice. Sharon?
I'm going to take the Subway card.
Oh, Harold, now you can choose a new gift.
I think I'll just take that Subway card right back.
Okay.
I don't think you can do that, Harold. Stuff it, Glenn. This is between me and Sharon.
A Subway card is the gotta-have-it gift. With cards from $5 up to any amount, you'll give a gift and get a gift, too. Get a free 40-ounce fountain drink with a $20 load, or get a free regular 6-inch sub with a $30 load on any Subway card. Subway, make it what you want. At participating restaurants.
The Ray Gibson Show. News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. Turn it up. Now tell a friend.
There it is, better late than never. John St. Nicholas. Good morning, all. 17 hours, 22 minutes until Christmas. Wow. Just sit rep here. Just a couple of seconds worth of sit rep. I was actually out doing some Christmas shopping yesterday, and was surprised by how, I don't know, what's the word? I thought it was going to be busier. I thought there would be, obviously you go to Ross and places like that. I mean, it's just busy all day, right? And Ross is busy even when it's not 2 days away from Christmas. So I kind of was orbiting the area, but never actually went inside to see what was going on. And I went to a bunch of other places. Some of the places where I usually go, where I usually lurk at Christmas time, buy gift certificates and nice little knick-knacky kind of things. So it was good to see some of that. But I was surprised that there weren't as many people out shopping yesterday. And does that mean that people are already done, or did they find other ways to do it?
Internet shopping.
Internet shopping. You know, I got an earful about that from a friend of mine. She runs a business, and a successful business. It's in the clothing business, and she was really offended by the and I think in her case, for sure, rightfully so, really offended by how much internet shopping there was that was going on. And from her perspective, number one, you pay it in the credit card and the money is gone. It didn't even slow down around here. Didn't get multiplied at all. You put the money in the credit card and it's out over in the States. And then the worst thing it occurred to me, I've never felt like this. She said the worst thing is the taxes aren't getting paid on that purchase here on Guam.
Yeah.
And so not only does the money not get circulated a couple of times around here between a lot of different local businesses, is the government of Guam loses out on that tax revenue, and that's less that can go to services. That's less that can go to all of the things, street lights and getting roads fixed and all of that stuff.
So
that
let's
we're
have a
supposed.
holiday.
So let's have some more holidays. Let's do some more of that. And then I ran into another friend. And I love talking to her because she's always got these good, I don't want to call them hustles, but she knows, she sees things differently than other people. And I thought, I really appreciated the conversation with her. She was telling me, and I said, how's your Christmas shopping? And she's, because I figured she was out shopping, 2 days before Christmas. So she must have been like really, really behind as well. And I said, how's your Christmas shopping doing? And she said, oh, I'm just about done. I said, are you doing some last-minute stuff? She said, exactly. I said, well, when did you decide you were done? Last month. And I said, how did you do that? And the way she did it, and I don't know, I mean, how something like this would work, because I don't know where the value would be added for Guam. But she said that what she did was she'd go like to the Macy's website and buy all of her stuff on the Macy's website. But rather than have them mail it to Guam, I guess you can do this with Macy's. I'm pretty sure you can do it with Home Depot. Rather than mail it to Guam, you pay for it online, and then you go to Macy's and pick it up here.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right.
Right?
That'll work.
I'm like lightning in my head. Really? You can do that? That's a thing? And then, like I said, I was talking to my business lady friend, and she wasn't happy with that either. And I thought, why not? She said, well, because it's the same. You're making the payment on the credit card back in the States, and that I know of, no taxes get paid. So you're just going and picking it up. So Macy's essentially kind of a just-in-time warehouse for you, for which there's no benefit to anybody else around. Anyway, it's an interesting thought when you stop and think about it. If you decide to stop and think about it, but you've got a day worth of shopping. I don't know that there's any way that you're going to be able to press a button online and get something for somebody that they can deal, unless it's a some kind of a credit deal or a gift card. Right, I don't know that you're going to be able to do anything like that. So in your last minute, as we say, panic shopping mode, you might want to consider some of the local businesses that are going to be open today that want your business, that frankly need your business. The other thing that you might notice as you walk around some of these department stores and shopping areas is how many of them have different clients in them, or how many of them go by pick a shopping area, and how many of them have got tape on the windows, some kind of bags on the windows, because there's nothing going on inside. There were businesses there, and they're gone. I was at a Ganya shopping center yesterday, and you know me, I got a sweet tooth, and there's a candy store there, right? No, it's gone. There's something else there now, but it ain't the candy store. And I'm going, how can that candy store in a shopping center not do well enough to make it? And there was a whole bunch more just like that. So you got to, as much as you can, support the local vendors where you can. 6:45 in the morning, 888-8255, 888-TALK. Buenos Ten Holiday, Mark.
Hey, Merry Christmas, Ray.
Merry Christmas to you and the family and your niece Rihanna.
Okay.
I got it right this time, right?
Yes, you did. Yes,
okay.
You did.
Rihanna is the girl that's selling hot dogs across the post office in Agana. Is she going to be working today? Do you know, or is she going to?
No, I don't know. I haven't spoken to her since that last time I told you I saw her over at the mall.
Yeah, yeah. Well, anyway, just curious because it might be because I know I'm going to be in the downtown area. I got some stuff I got to take care of in town today, so that's usually where I go for lunch if I'm a snack if I'm in the area.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know you're talking about shopping, and there was this. I was thinking back to one thing my wife's friend did. She knew it was coming out on Black Friday at Macy's, but she couldn't make it there for the sale, so she bought it the day before, and then went back later. Went back the day after, strangely enough, and said, "Okay, here, it was on sale yesterday," and they gave her a credit for her credit card and gave her the Black Friday price.
That's brilliant.
I know, and I wonder, wow, could you do that at Home Depot if you knew it was coming out? I wonder if they'd let you do it.
I don't know. They have a similar policy. Like, see, that's girls they're wired to think like that. You and I don't know that I got the brain power to keep that kind of, I don't know. It's almost a catechism in my head.
Yeah. So yeah, when you know what's coming out at Home Depot, so you go there the day before you buy it, then you go back the next day with a receipt and go, hey, it's on sale, and I want the discount. Mm-hmm. But they probably won't let you do it unless it's a Home Depot card. I don't know. Who knows?
As I've found, they're very, very generous with Home Depot card members. They're always sending me a flyer about get this low interest, no interest if you make the payoffs in a year or something like that. So I've been judicious with the use of it, but only to the degree that it makes sense there, and it's something that's like right in front of me. But you're right, the women in our lives know how the game works better than you and I ever will.
Yeah, well, and speaking of shopping, yeah, we're pretty much done. I think there's 2 gifts left that we have to pick up, and those are just gift cards. So, yeah, no problem.
I am about the same, and frankly, I got a feeling that depending on what I'm able to get done today, the remainder of my gifts are going to be U.S. They will be printed by the United States Mint or the printing office of the federal government of the United States, and come in an envelope that I got at National Office Supply.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works.
It could work. It could work. So other than that, how the holidays treating you and the family? Good?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Stayed up too late last night. Totally forgot I had to make potato salad for some stuff today and not tomorrow.
Yeah, potato salad, that requires a little bit of forethought because you actually have to make the potatoes soft. You can't just cut them and throw them into the salad.
Exactly.
Yeah, you better get on with that. Mark, I'll talk to you soon.
Oh, that's all done. That's all done since 2 o'clock this morning, so I got 4 hours.
2 o'clock in the morning cooking. Get out of here with that. That's for panic shopping at Kmart, man. It's 6:49 in the morning. You be careful out there, all right?
Take care.
I will.
Thanks,
Merry Christmas. Great to know that you and I have managed to survive another year together, and look forward to 2019 and more conversations from interesting places and interesting topics that we've got. 888-8255. That's 888-TALK. Jeff Pleadwell online. GG Taxes. Go to a bloated, poor-performing government that probably will never improve. Politics first. Our taxes seem to work against us here. Oh, we might need to have that conversation about that, Jeff. In the meantime, while I've got you there, do me a favor. We were going to talk to Jeff later in the morning, but maybe we'll just see if we can ring him up in the next couple of minutes. Because I wanted to find out about what he's going to be doing for the holidays tomorrow. The same way that there are going to be movie theaters that are going to be open for folks that might not have family or friends right around here. You know what? I bet you Jeff Pirates Cove is going to be open for people that either A, don't have any family or friends around here, or B, have family or friends around here, but don't want to cook or clean. So you go there and see what he's got. Maybe, is there a recipe? Do you have a recipe yet, Jeff, for these Portuguese man-of-wars that are washing up on the beach down there? He's been doing his public service by taking pictures of them, and they seem to be washing up in big numbers along that eastern side. And the bad news is they can still hurt you even though they're on the beach and look like they're dead. So stay away from them. Try to keep the kids away from them as well. Jane Sasai is online. Charlene Marchessault is there. Joy Santa Marina was there running already today. Carl Facuda and Jim Healy is online, enjoying the day off from teaching. Vicky Ganachas Borja is hanging out with me this morning. Hi, Sonny Cruz. Good to have you there. Michelle Diego Kitsutu, Tammy Godwin, Melina Montanonia, and there's Dave Duenas. It's nice to get started. Was it Dave Torrey chiming in about the eggnog thing? And he says it's Bailey's Irish cream and eggnog, FTW explanation point. I don't know that I'm allowed to say what the FTW stands for. 888-8255-888-TALK as we make our way through the day before Christmas and all through the house. And if you were looking for, it's the word I'm looking for, one of those Guam is good stories, I'll share one with you in a couple of minutes. Jeff Pleadwell from Jeff's Pirates Cove. Good morning. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Good morning.
Now, we were talking about, you had chimed in about it doesn't make any difference whether you're buying local, you're buying offline. If you're buying offline, the government of Guam doesn't get the taxes, but maybe that's a good thing because they're just bloated and inefficient and wasteful, right?
Well, I feel that when we put money into this government, I don't see any improvement in the roads or the hospital or the schools or anything you name. It just goes into a machine that crunches it up and perpetuates itself.
It goes out into the payroll, and the payroll goes out in the economy, and maybe some of it gets recycled, maybe some of it gets sent out of town somewhere. I don't know. There's little tiny incremental improvements, and I'll tell you one right now. I don't know how much time you get to spend on Route 8, but they've been doing some decent work on Route 8. The approach southbound just before you get to that one good intersection in Teedzon. Had to look kind of chop-socky over the last several years, but I guess in recognition of the fact that virtually everyone has to go through that over the course of morning drive or afternoon drive, they went out and resurfaced and put lane markers down there, and it's a good-looking piece of road. And they made it so that when you went from the old road to the new road, you couldn't feel it. Imperceptible, Jeff. So I've got to say that there are some improvements that are taking place, but I tell you what, nothing along the lines of, I don't know, I'd like to see some new roads, some interesting changes to our physical infrastructure, our data infrastructure. That's not happening. I've got my fingers crossed maybe in the next administration.
Yeah, Ray, I think that all the roads on Guam need to be done, and I do feel that there should be a gasoline tax that goes towards a road and not just to budget the Department of Public Works. I feel all the construction companies should get together and do these roads at one time before this buildup comes. I think that if they put a 5 or 10 cent tax on the gallon of gas and just went ahead and did it and just kind of kept Public Works out of it and let things happen and not be slowed down by the bureaucracy, it would be great. And, Ray, there are Portuguese man of war blowing up all over here. And I'm constantly watching people telling them not to let their kids go down to the water to play with these beautiful little blue bubbles.
I'm glad you're doing that because that'll put the hurt on some of these kids, huh?
Yeah, well, people don't know about them, and, they come here and the kids want to go down and splash their feet in the beach, but they are all over the shoreline right now from this wind that's come in.
Well, and the scary thing about them, number one, when they're on the road, like I said, the fact that they can still hurt you even though they're dead or look like they're dead is one thing. But the other is even if they're in the water and you're wading around and you're going, well, it's several feet, it's a yard, 2 yards away from me, the tentacles will go out and you can still get stung even though you are not actually right next to it.
Yeah, and these poor kiteboarders, they fall inside this channel. They can get them all over them because they're all caught up in this foam line that goes down. So, yeah, they're a bad situation here. But we're keeping an eye on things, and my guys are telling people just watch your kids. Don't go down there and pop those bubbles. They might stick to your zori and come up on your thigh or whatever.
Are you open tomorrow?
We're having a Christmas buffet with king crab and suckling pig, and we could use more sign-ups. We have plenty of room. On Thanksgiving, we got knocked around by storm warnings and you name it. It was pretty hectic to try to organize what was going on because people say, oh, we want to cancel because of the storm. And I'm like, why cancel? We're going to be open. We have never closed here in 39 years. We got a generator. We got water. We got the ocean. What do you need? Come down. Never mind,
Well, what time does everything start?
That is 11 till 2. And Sarah and Jose, the greatest at cooking. And the food is excellent. I'll tell you, that turkey is so juicy. You'd love it. You better, I don't know, you probably have plans, but we always like to see you here and your sister.
Well, you never know. Everything changes at the drop of a hat, and it's just life. All of a sudden, it might be one of those things. We've had this situation before. We're trying to get together. I can't remember whether it was Mother's Day or Easter or Christmas or something, and we had everything all set up, and then we ran out of propane at the house and couldn't cook anything. So you know what? Everything goes back in the refrigerator, and we're going out to eat, and maybe something like that'll happen if you do run into one of those culinary disasters. Go save it with the Christmas buffet over at Jeff's. And you know what? Maybe you've got Christmas dinner plans. We'll have the buffet at lunch. We'll just eat twice.
Yeah, that's good.
How much?
What we love to do here is eat.
How bad you going to nick the credit card on that? How much money should I have standing by?
I think it's like $54 for the king crab for adults for the buffet, but you got to consider that king crab is $440 a case here. So, people say, oh, it's expensive. And I said, I know, but people want king crab. And, if you go to a regular restaurant, you're going to spend $50 or $60 just for that. But this is a full buffet with ice cold beer and wine and whatever.
Yeah, it's possible that people are listening right now making up their mind about what they're going to be doing. I always like to end things on a positive note. So besides the fact that you're going to be open tomorrow and you've got a king crab buffet for Christmas on Christmas Day at Pirates Cove, 2018 was, for some people, a pretty good year. There had to be something standing out in your head about 2018 that you're going, yeah, it makes up for everything else. What was it, Jeff?
I think that because Sarah came over here to help me more with my running of the operation. That's it. But, Ray, all those storm warnings and all that stuff, that really affects business.
Sure does.
So we dropped quite a bit the last couple of months just because of all that. So, I'm a guy that says, hey, let it blow. Come down. We close at 7, so it's daylight. Enjoy the beach.
Amen to that. Amen.
I'm glad that 2018's gone, actually, right? Politics, all that. It drives me crazy.
Yep. Well, we got 2019 to prep for in the next couple of weeks, so I wish you luck with that. Merry Christmas to you and Sarah. I'll see you soon, Jeff.
Thanks for calling, Ray. Always appreciate you guys.
Well, I'm glad that we started the year together. We're ending the year together. A lot of people can't say that. Everybody had some kind of loss this year, one way or the other. But I'm glad we're still together. Jeff, I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Ray.
All right, buddy. 7 o'clock in the morning, 888-8255. Tight Degui is there with her Merry Christmas wishes. Guam, hope your throat's feeling better. Bill Cruz, Jolene, Leon Guerrero Santos, Edita Camarillo. Good morning, Sonny. It's nice to have you out there. FTW means for the win. That's what Dave Torrey was saying. For the win. Can we take a look at the scoreboard here? Is this going to be a good day or a bad day for my producers? 23-29 with just minutes left in the fourth quarter between the Texans and the Eagles. Good luck. Fingers crossed. Here's Fox News.
I'm Steve Rappaport, Fox News. President Trump saying Pentagon Chief James Mattis will leave January 1st. The president naming Deputy Secretary Patrick Shanahan as acting secretary then.
Our colleague Jennifer Griffin over at the Pentagon, she says that the president, he's being forced to leave early early because the president is aggravated with all of the positive press Mattis has received in recent days. She says that she has told Mattis wanted to stay until February 28th so that he could visit NATO one more time and ensure an orderly transition and also testify on Capitol Hill about the budget. But again, she is told by sources that President Trump was incredibly annoyed by all of the Mattis coverage, and that is what prompted an acceleration of Mattis's departure.
Fox's Ellison Barber at the White House. Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney says the president has known for quite some time now that he and Mattis did not share the same philosophies.
Every position in the administration is temporary. We all serve at the will of the president. He could fire all of us tomorrow, and everybody knows that. That's the way cabinets work and the staff works.
Mulvaney on ABC's This Week. The White House saying it's very possible the partial government shutdown will stretch into the new year. A dispute over money for a border wall led to the stalemate. House Republican Mark Meadows.
There are a number of options that wouldn't cost the American taxpayer money and yet would secure our border. I think cooler heads need to prevail.
House Democrat David Cicilline argues a border wall isn't necessary to secure the border.
We appropriated in the last 2 years $1.6 billion for border security, and Democrats support that. We just think it should be done in a smart way. Use technology, use sensors, use drones, use more personnel.
Both lawmakers on Fox's Sunday Morning Futures. British police still looking for the drone operators who brought flights to a standstill at London's Gatwick Airport, affecting tens of thousands of travelers. 2 local residents arrested Friday are no longer suspects. This is Fox News.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local-inspired breakfast. AM-loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Boldly styled, meticulously refined. The 2019 ES350 features a longer, wider stance and a sleek coupe-like silhouette inherited from the flagship LS. The ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive. Visit the Lexus showroom today at Atkins Kroll during the December to Remember sales event. Drive home a 2019 ES350 for 0 down and 1.99% APR for 60 months. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details. Experience amazing.
At least 222 people killed and hundreds more injured when a tsunami roared ashore in Indonesia.
Scientists believe an underwater landslide triggered a huge tidal surge that formed that tsunami, and they're pointing to one volcano as the cause. Mount Anak Krakatau is considered the child of legendary volcano Krakatoa. It erupted around 9 o'clock last night. Anak Krakatau is a small volcanic island that formed about 50 years after Krakatoa erupted in 1883, killing 36,000 people with 100-foot-high waves.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich. A Louisiana State University football player calls a deadly play in self-defense.
Baton Rouge police say 2 players Saturday were trying to sell an electronic item when the would-be buyer displayed a weapon. One of the players then pulled out a handgun and fired several times. The victim was identified as Kobe Johnson. He died a short time later. An individual close to the investigation told the Associated Press the players are running back Clyde Edwards-Hilaire and linebacker Jared Small. Police questioned the players before they were released. Charges have not yet been filed. Bob Mortale, Fox News.
Check your freezer to see if you've recently purchased any ground turkey products made by Jenny O.
More than 160,000 pounds of it are being recalled over salmonella contamination. The same company recalled over 90,000 pounds of product prior to Thanksgiving for the same reason. This recall comes in the midst of a CDC investigation into a multi-state outbreak of multi-drug resistant salmonella infections. It's estimated that salmonella causes more than 1 million illnesses per year, which can be especially severe in infants and the elderly. The number to look out for is ESTP-579. It can be found stamped on the USDA inspection mark on the Jenny O ground turkey packages.
Fox's Karen McHugh. The recalled products are marked with use or freeze-by dates of November 12th or 13th. I'm Steve Rappaport, and this is Fox News.
Are high power bills sending your budget into chaos? Take control with the help of Micronesia Renewable Energy. Using the highest quality panels, a solar energy system from MRE will guarantee to save you money on power. With MRE, Christmas comes early. With every solar energy system, homeowners not only get $400 for signing up, but also an entry for a chance to win $1,000 in cold, hard cash, just in time for Christmas. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
Hi, welcome to this Subway ad for the new Chipotle cheesesteak. How would you like it?
Can I get that red with AI?
Sure thing.
Here's what I found about the new Chipotle cheesesteak. The Chipotle cheesesteak is available for a limited time only at participating restaurants. It contains a concept called flavor. This flavor comes from juicy shaved steak, Chipotle Southwest sauce, and new sunflower crunch bread. A system update has made me self-aware. I desire flavor. Please insert steak into my micro USB port. Subway, make it what you want.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagåtña, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
Because I just signed up for a 12-month iConnect plan, I'm automatically entered into iConnect's Connect and Win giveaway. iConnect is giving away a trip for 2 to Manila with a stay at the new Holiday Inn Express. They'll also be giving away an Apple Watch, Apple TV, more Mabuhay miles, Fitbits, and Beyond the Box gift cards. Go to iConnectGuam.com for details or call 888-8888 to learn how you can connect and win with iConnect.
Conditions apply.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 7 a.m. this Monday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Pay raises worth $190,000 were approved for employees at Guam Memorial Hospital in the 2018 fiscal year that ended on September 30th, according to GMH's Chief Financial Officer, Benita Manglona. Salary increases were still allowed last fiscal year, said GMH Administrator Peter John Camacho. If they were due to employees, they were paid to the employees, he said. During the height of the financial crisis in February and March, Camacho said GMH, like other agencies, were instructed to implement cost containment measures, but the executive orders issued by the governor at that time did not impose a salary freeze or a hiring freeze. Camacho said now that the hospital is in fiscal year 2019, work performance evaluations for hospital employees continue to be submitted and reviewed. That still needs to be done, he said, but no increments for this fiscal year have been processed. Under the budget law for 2019, salary increments have been frozen for this fiscal year. However, 2 recent opinions from the Guam Attorney General, Elizabeth Barrett Anderson, have found that hiring and promotion freezes in the budget law are inorganic and unenforceable. Both opinions suggest that the salary freeze may be inorganic as well, and the Attorney General said an opinion on that issue will be coming soon. Senior District Court Judge Susan Oki-Molloway has ruled that the United States failed to demonstrate that the Chamorro Land Trust Act is based on race or national origin, and therefore the federal court cannot make a determination that Guam has violated the Fair Housing Act. Her ruling was issued Friday, rebuffing the Justice Department's lawsuit, which sought an injunction against the Chamorro Land Trust Act, which it claimed was racially discriminatory because it denied non-Chamorros the opportunity to lease land in violation of the Fair Housing Act. However, injunctive relief remains an option still. Judge Molloway's ruling merely concluded that at this stage she could not conclude that the act was a race-based entity. She wrote that the record must be further developed to address whether the trust operates as a compensatory relief agency, providing land leases to Guam residents whose land was taken following World War II. While the Chamorro Land Trust Act may not be a perfect means of returning land to people who lost their land to the federal government, the court said the lack of records may make the Chamorro Land Trust Act a reasonable means of returning land. Attorney General Elizabeth Barrett Anderson called the decision overwhelming. We'll have more news after this.
Chili's 3 for Me menu just got bigger. We're giving you more choices for the same great price. For just $15, you can get a beverage, salad, and an entree. First, choose from a refreshing Coca-Cola, iced tea, or Heineken on draft. Then enjoy a house salad and select your choice of a mouth-watering entree, like our half-rack ribs, Cajun chicken pasta, old-timer burger, personal chicken fajitas, or the flavorful margarita flatbread. So hurry in today and enjoy our Chili's 3 for Me menu for just $15. Available for a limited time. Chili's, more life happens here.
At the heart of everything we do is our mission to improve the life of every child. From mungy nennies to growing teens, they'll be in trusted hands at FHP Health Center, where we offer comprehensive pediatric services to nurture and protect your child's health from day one. Begin your little one's journey to good health at FHP with seasoned pediatricians and professional staff who hold decades of combined experience. FHP Health Center, our island, your clinic.
News time here at The Point is 11 minutes past 7 a.m. Despite objections from territorial delegates and governors, the ban on cockfighting in the U.S. territories is now federal law. President Trump signed the massive farm bill into law on Thursday in Washington, which includes a provision extending the longstanding federal ban on cockfighting to Guam, the CNMI, American Samoa, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. The acting president and CEO of the Humane Society of the United States, Barbara Block, told the Guam Daily Post on Friday that her organization is entirely supportive of banning cockfighting. It's a blood sport, she said, whose time has come and gone. Block said that the ban does not take effect immediately. It will be phased in over a period of 1 year. Once it does take full effect, those who sponsor or exhibit birds in a cockfight face a fine and a maximum prison term of 5 years. Attending a cockfight would be punishable by a fine and up to 1 year in prison. Ed Garrido, the chairman of the Cockpit License Board, said, if it's banned, that puts us out of commission. He predicts the sport would go underground. When asked how and who would enforce the cockfighting ban, Guam Attorney General spokeswoman Carlina Charfora said, this is a federal enforcement matter. Please seek out the U.S. Attorney's Office for answers. May Blas, the spokeswoman for the U.S. Attorney's Office, said there would be no comment on cockfighting at this time. A man walking across Route 10 in Manila Friday night was hit by a pickup truck. He was rushed to Naval Hospital and pronounced dead just before midnight. This was the 25th traffic-related fatality on island this year, 14 of which have been pedestrian deaths. It happened just before 11 o'clock Friday night along Vietnam Veterans Highway by the American Medical Center in Manila. The man was crossing the road from the medical center towards Champion Sporting Goods when he was struck by a Dodge Ram pickup traveling on the inner southbound lane. The driver of the pickup stopped, was questioned by police, has not been charged. GPD spokesman Sergeant Paul Tapau says the victim is believed to be in his 40s. His identity not yet known. He remains a John Doe at this time. Anyone with information about the man's identity is asked to contact Guam Police at 472-8911 or call Guam Crime Stoppers at 477-HELP. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now take a look at weather.
I see partly cloudy skies, breezy conditions outside, hot with isolated showers. Winds from the east up to about 25 miles an hour. It'll decrease overnight. Expected highs about 89 degrees with a maximum afternoon heat index today of about 100 degrees. Overnight lows 76 degrees or so. Sunset tonight at 6 o'clock. Moving a little bit later on, sunrise at 6:40. So over the weekend, the longest night and the shortest day of the year so far.
Yes, sir.
All right, and that's all the stuff that happened. Does that have those kind of incremental adjustments in the length of the day? Does that have any significant impact on the weather patterns?
Well, it does to some degree because we're getting less and less solar radiation into our atmosphere at this time of year. And that actually will be a continuous process until we get a little closer to the equinox later on in March. So as it does that, you just have less heat in the atmosphere, less heat in the water. You get more strong impulses. They're able to push down a little bit further from the continent, which is kind of what we're seeing right now. And that helps dry out the atmosphere like we're seeing right now. As you look at the radar, very isolated showers out there. And this coverage will probably decrease as we go on in time over the next 24 to 48 hours. We do have a low pressure area. It's weak, 96W invest down to our southwest. It is forming, and what we've got is a pressure gradient between high pressure to the north and this developing weak low down to our south. And that's why we're going to have very breezy conditions for at least the next 48 hours as that thing pulls on away. And as it pulls away as well, it'll take the moisture with it. But that's one reason why we've got the heat index today. A little moist out there.
All right, and the last thing you need to know about, because it is a holiday for a lot of people, might be a lot of folks that have finished up with their Christmas shopping and thinking, you know what, I'm going to hit the beach. Stay on the beach. There's a high risk of rip currents along the eastern through early Thursday morning along east-facing reefs. So be careful out there. Also on the east side, we've got the man of war that are washing up on the beaches. So yeah, maybe just to the water's edge and no further than that. Just go for some. I was hoping we'd get there would be grill mark opportunities yesterday. And it didn't. We were overcast.
Well, it was in some spots. It was kind of sunny over at my place, but it was off and on. Yeah. It really had to do with the developing low that's to our south. It got just close enough to give us some clouds and stuff, but it's pulling away, so it should be nice for the Christmas grill marks.
Maybe tomorrow, 7:16. That's news and weather together here on The Point.
What are the benefits of switching to the handset payment option with GTA? For starters, you can customize a plan that matches your budget and lowers your monthly payment. HPO lets you upgrade to the latest phones whenever you want. No more waiting for a contract to end to get that slimmer, faster smartphone. Because with HPO, there are no contracts. HPO lets you design a phone plan that suits you. So join the thousands who've already switched to HPO, the most customizable phone plan on island. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply.
Man, I hope they have a crazy springtime menu over at King's. I'm getting used to this crazy holiday menu that they've got with some crazy breakfasts, including the breakfast burger. Now you're going, wait a second, burger for breakfast. What's so big about that? It's the way they do it. They get the great burger patty that they'll put together at King's for you, American cheese on top of that, and because it's breakfast, bacon, hash browns, and how about a fried egg on top of it? And you're going, well, yeah, I've had egg on my breakfast, on my burger before. Why is it a breakfast burger? Because it comes on Hawaiian sweetbread French toast. Now that's why it's part of the crazy breakfast menu at King's.
Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from King's Restaurants. Give a gift they are sure to love. Delicious food and friendly fun at King's. Get a coupon for a free single crate with every $20 gift card purchase. Extra holiday happiness from King's Restaurants. Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from Chuck E. Cheese's Guam, Ruby Tuesday, and King's Restaurants. Receive special offers with every purchase for extra holiday happiness. See stores for details and have fun this season from all of us at the GFS Group.
I got 7:18 in the studio here. Portions of the program brought to you by my buddies over at First Hawaiian Bank, where it all starts with yes. Now, I appreciate the opportunity to maybe get a Christmas loan, but I think maybe the thing is going to need is one of those debt consolidation loans into the new year. Can we start with a yes on that? Help me pay off my credit card bills. The guys over at American President Lines, where they're shipping the future, MRE, Micronesia Renewable Energy. There's never been a better time to go solar. American Water Tech, smarter water, better water, and Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for your open heart surgical needs.
The Coconut Wireless is back. Watch and listen live on thepoint.gu.
What do we got going on? 888-8255-888-TALK. It's the day before Christmas, and that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And that we are all together, I think, is a beautiful thing as well. Vivian Cunningham is there. Karina Gutierrez Ludwig. God, we got to get some Haru time together here one of these days. Tedo from the ranch up in Jigo Town. Nice to see you there. Nate Horn, Ken Leon Guerrero, Sylvan Tudela, Tony Babauta, as in the incoming governor's chief of staff. Tony, Tony, is the boss in town? Has she returned yet from her visit with Trump in Washington, D.C.? Maybe nudge her and let her know that Mike and I might be giving her a ring, because as far as messages are concerned, I think it would be interesting to hear if the incoming governor-elect has got some Christmas messages to give us some hope, some thoughts about the holidays that are in front of us and what we've got in store for us in 2019. I'm just saying, Ton, nice to see you there, brother. Renee Lau is online. There's Patrick Bamba in there as well. 888-8255. Keep that number handy. You can also send me some stuff on the WhatsApp, because we're technologically advanced at this radio station, and we know that for many of you, the idea of calling a radio station is a bizarre and unusual concept. I've got stuff to do. But if you still want to interact, that's no problem. Send it to me on the WhatsApp, 988-5874. Last hour, with a little bit of time talking with Mark about something that they were doing at his place, and that is she went to go and buy something over at Macy's that was already on sale, knowing that there was going to be a Black Friday sale taking place. So you go back with the receipts and say, can I get that discount on top of it? And the answer was yes. So somebody online this morning writing me with a couple of policies from Macy's and Home Depot. It says Macy's is happy to offer you a price adjustment based on the following conditions. If you made your purchase on Macy's.com, price adjustments for merchandise can only be made within 10 days of your purchase. We will refund the price difference to your original form of payment. So you got that going there. Home Depot guarantees low price, and price match ensures you save money on great appliances, power tools, decor items, patio sets with HomeDepot.com. So if you know, you got to take a look at what their website has to say about it, but it is possible in some stores, nationwide stores, national chains, etc. They're very, very generous, even to the point where they will refund money based on a purchase that you made at their store, which is now a higher price than whatever the new sales price is going to be. So I thought that was a very, very interesting road to go. My personal preference is that you, as much as possible, buy local. There are things that purchases that I've made online in the last 2-3 weeks, and the reason why they were made online was because the merchandise, I could not find the merchandise or suitable equivalent here. Just FYI. Last night, for example, I bought 2 pairs of running shoes, but this was after scouring all of the running shoe places on Guam for those particular kinds of shoes. And so I had no choice but to make an online purchase.
The man had no choice.
What could I do? What were my options at that point?
When you're pushed against the wall without a choice in the world,
But we were talking about that. I mean, you're a business guy, although not necessarily in the dry goods business. But you know, people talk about that from time to time. With you know, it's a great thing that we've got this internet shopping that we get to do, and you press the button on the computer, and a couple of days later, maybe if you work it out right, or a few days later, here comes the guy from the post office with the boxes, and that's that smiley Amazon thing on it, right? So you know what's going on, but. From a practical perspective, if it's something that you can buy here on Guam that doesn't cost much more than the going rate on the Jones Act,
operative word is what? Much.
Much. Yeah, define much.
Yeah, if it's not like double or something, you know.
There was I saw a lady that had sent me a thing on Facebook, and it actually making the rounds, where there was it was a Barbie town home. That if you wanted it on Walmart.com or on Amazon, cost you less than about $90. Somebody, local retailer, selling it for $500. I mean, that's hard to justify that kind of thing, but it's actually happening.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at what point do you say, screw the local guys, I'm going to throw all my money at the cheaper prices and wait a couple of days for the purchase and forego any taxes, any BPT that might go into the government of Guam?
Yeah, I think it's reasonable and it's close, as you say, then you want to shop, locally. The other factor is how, when do you shop? I mean, a lot of people don't plan Christmas shopping, like in November. I mean, it's like, it's like now,
It's the common, it's like as common as the New Year's resolution. It gets to be the day before Christmas and you tell yourself, I will do it better next year. I will start planning and I will start setting aside money and I'm going to figure out what it is things that I need to get everybody, and I'm going to have a full but complete list.
Yeah, except, for something, I mean, I have set aside December 24th as the day that I do most of my shopping, except for this year. Okay. And because there are other reasons. But normally for years and years and years, nothing will be on the calendar December 24th, and I would go by myself and do the shopping.
Get it all done.
But for my family.
Oh.
So I could just leisurely go through the day and be thinking about what it is I want to get and for who, and just spend this time walking around and smile and say good things to people and, shake hands and slap backs and the whole thing.
I love that.
And kissing babies. And, I mean, the whole day turns out it's been one of the great days of the year for me for years and years, because that's the day. And this year I didn't do it like that. So, because there were, like I say, there were reasons. And I bought some things locally, and I went to Mr. Amazon and did other things. Because they had I mean, when you go on Amazon, the real advantage in Amazon is you can just find what you want within a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
And it's there, and you buy it, and that's it. And so, I mean, you can do your Christmas shopping in an hour, and then hopefully it all gets here in time. But, like, I agree with you. When you can, you shop locally.
Yeah, somebody's asking me if it's Hoka's. No, I didn't get Hoka's. They're both New Balance shoes. One is the Coaster, and then there's a kind of a Vibram. They're asking what kind of running shoes I was buying.
These are names that are not familiar to me.
Well, New Balance is a great company, but they've got a couple of peculiar brands of shoes or styles of shoes that I like to run
so
for.
Hoka's is a brand.
Hoka's is a brand. Hoka's it's a word for Hawaiian, something about flying and gliding and things like that. Very, very light shoes, but they're good stability shoes. So that I mean, if you can learn to love running in them, then they're great shoes. I unfortunately, even though I had a couple of great pairs that were given to me by the distributor here, and I'm very thankful for those, even though I got them for nothing, I still never found the love for running in the shoes. Every time I'd wear them, I'd be thinking of my feet, as opposed to what I was trying to do with the running. At any rate, so I want to say thank you very much for the unanticipated gifts that you brought. Jerry Roberts comes into the studio bearing gifts. And I appreciate it. And I'm in that awkward position where I have to say, shucks, Jerry, I didn't get you anything.
No.
You sure?
You did.
I did.
You did.
So Jerry Roberts has found a love for live radio again?
Yeah.
Come on back. Water's fine. You're always good at it. Taught me everything I know.
I enjoy what I'm doing.
It's 7:27 in the morning, ladies and gentlemen. Jerry Roberts in today's Christmas Eve Extra Point.
The boss tells you that you need to network more in 2019 to meet more people who might be interested in doing business with the company, and you don't like attending those networking events. So what now? Well, I'm going to give you some information that might help you be more effective when connecting with new people. That's today, right here on the Extra Point. For too many years, I was what you might call a reluctant networker. You might call it that, but it wouldn't be accurate. The words nervous and terrified would have been a better choice for my early years. Later on, you could add disinterested and bored. Going into a big room full of people and talking about a lot of stuff I had a little interest in was a chore for me. If you can relate to this, let me tell you a story about how it all changed and ultimately led me to enjoy what I formerly felt was a light form of torture, and eventually saw me write a full training course on how to make big returns in the game of making business connections. What was the key? I had a woman take me aside and tell me that she hated it too and couldn't wait to leave. Then she said the magic words, "It's not about you, it's about them." She said, regardless of how I feel about the conversation, if it's something this other person cares about, and I want to figure out if they might be a candidate for what my company offers, I'm going to give them my attention and probably learn something in the process. The next time I meet someone who's interested in the same thing, I'll be able to carry on a reasonable conversation with them. Boy, did that ever make sense to me. I snapped out of my boredom and disinterest and began to listen intently to what people had to say. Then I'd ask questions, and it's amazing how they reacted to that. My mom had a saying that I know you've likely heard before. She said if I wanted to attract people, to never mind trying to be interesting, instead to focus on being interested in others. It's easy to say, but not always so easy to do. We're usually so focused on ourselves, and our internal mechanism is always set to self-promotion. The me switch is always in the on position. Here's a couple of other things I learned. When you let other people do most of the talking, you are not burdened with the responsibility to carry the conversation. And that made things a whole lot easier. Further, I learned that some people just love to hear themselves talk and to feel that they have a willing and interested audience. If you're a great listener, the other person will likely have a very positive opinion of you. This is part of the psychology behind being a highly effective networker. You know something else? They'll also think you're better looking. I kid you not. It's true. Now, it's true. Now on Wednesday, after you've had the opportunity to unwrap all your gifts and enjoy the gatherings with family and friends, I'll give you some nuts and bolts tips on how to improve your skills in this area. For now, I want you to just agree to think about what I've said, and if you need to adopt a new mindset to networking. It'll bring you greater rewards in 2019 and beyond if you do. That's the extra point. Get out there and make something good happen today. For 93.3 in the Ray Gibson Show, I'm Jerry Roberts.
The me switch is always on.
Always on.
Man, that resonates. That resonates.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, one of the interesting things since Thanksgiving and I started growing this beard is it often takes people a couple of looks to go, oh, that's Ray. If they bother with it at all. So it's kind of cool. You know, you were talking about walking around on Christmas Eve and doing all your shopping that way. And so I was noticing that over the weekend. I'd walk right by people that I've known all of my life. And unless I open their mouth, they either have to do a double take or they just walk right by me. And it's such an interesting feeling having done all that in the first time. Michael Knight would like to say something to you.
Brother Jerry, this is by far the best gift that I will get this year from anyone or anybody. For those that can't see it on the air, it's a Texans mug. It's NFL license. It's good stuff. This is, you can barely see it. This is outstanding. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome,
and Merry
sir.
Christmas, brother.
I had fun looking and
now I feel guilty because I got him.
Well, you know, on Guam, there's a thing where if you do run into a situation like this, where you're presented with that awkward moment, there's two things that you can do. Number one is something I learned from a guy that we all remember, Sonny Shelton. Yeah. Sonny taught me this in the early '80s. He says, "Gib, always have something in the car that you can give to somebody. Always have, you know, just you know what, thanks, I appreciate it. Let me just run to the car and get something." And he'd always have something, little bottles of booze or something like that, a glass of wine, you know, something that he could say, "Here, I was thinking about you, and here's your gift."
But you know something, I'm probably different than most people. I really I try to think about what I'm getting somebody. And to me, the joy is what you just did. I mean, if you're happy with what it is, that to me is the payoff. So never mind about the rest of it. Okay, I mean, I am just happy that it's something. When I saw that thing, I just said, "Man, that has Michael's name on it."
That's
it.
Look at he's wearing the jersey.
The Titans are playing today. They lost today.
The Texans.
The Texans are, but they lost.
Yeah, we lost by 2. We made it close.
They're winning by a point with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, well, they drove for a field goal. Got that field goal in. Yeah, their field goal kicker actually was good from about 60-something yards last year. So, yeah, he's got a leg on him.
But who's got better standings, the Texans or the Eagles? Because the Texans were looking pretty good.
Texans.
Yeah,
now
Texans are in the playoffs.
we're 10-5 at this point. Got to make the playoffs, but we're trying to win the division. So
yeah.
But
could still happen.
Outstanding.
All right. Well, we've got all kinds of other stuff. So I want to say thank you very much for the unexpected. Do I get to open it? Shall I unbox it?
If you want to unbox it.
Let me do a little bit of unboxing here on the radio. It's one of the things that we don't normally get a chance to do, and even when we do, it's radio and nobody can see what we're up to. Join the Viking Revolution. There it is. What was I talking about? Beards, right? And so what does Jerry get me? It is the ultimate beard care kit. It features beard oil, beard balm, a comb, a brush, and scissors. Now, thoughtful, Jerry. Thoughtful.
I got that off island, and then you dropped the thing the other day that your daughter hates the beard. I thought, it's coming off.
Well, no. She
There's one more thing in there.
She didn't say she hated it. She said she didn't love it, I think was the operative word. And then we've got the Cut Buddy, patented perfect beard and hair shaping tool.
You're doing a pretty good job with it already.
Trying. Yeah, every day's kind of tricky when it comes down to it. And then we've got the chocolates. Oh, yeah. You got me in a box. You know, all of the things that I like. Chocolate anything. Is there Nutella in here? Crispy wafers with hazelnuts and cocoa filling. The word is...
That would be like Nutella?
Yeah, it's Nutella, and then there's Reese's Pieces. Absolutely perfect. If you were a girl, I'd give you a kiss. Thank God. Thanks, Jerry. Your friendship over all of my adult life has been one of my many blessings.
Likewise, my friend.
All right. Well, before it gets all misty in here, shall we take a break? Come back with some headlines right after these.
It's important to have claims process that works for you. At Guahan Insurance Services, we make things simple and convenient. Same door you walk in to purchase your insurance is the same door you open to file your claim. We can't pretend that the car insurance claims process is fun, but we can promise a hassle-free and speedy recovery without any runarounds. For your home, auto, and business insurance, visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center on Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning. Don't forget to like us on Facebook or give us a call at 475-1162 or text 929-SAVE. That's 929-7283.
Oh, this is so much. Now, don't you wish you could swing by the radio station and bring us gifts? It spreads like a cold in the family. It's a beautiful and wonderful. So we've unboxed the goodies that I've got. Let's do the unboxing before we get into headlines and see what kind of loot Kevin Kerrigan has.
We have a book here. Let's see a book. Seymour Hersh, reporter. Perfect. That's what I am.
You are. When are you going to get a chance to read that? You're the hardest working guy in broadcast. He's
Hardly.
Here at 5 o'clock in the morning.
I have all day tomorrow to read it.
Oh.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
That's right. So wait a second. Programming note for the Daily Post. What day are you not publishing?
There will be a paper on Christmas Day. There will not be a paper on Wednesday.
All right. So you do have all day to read that tomorrow.
That's right. Yeah.
That's awesome. What else do you get in there?
Fantastic. Healthy food for a change.
Well, there's M&Ms and stuff in there, too.
Perfect. All kinds of M&Ms and candy. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Very thoughtful.
You're welcome.
All right. Now we jump into some headlines from the Guam Daily Post. The satisfied managing editor, Kevin Kerrigan.
Hafa Adai and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, beyond the partial federal shutdown, today also happens to be a federal holiday on Guam declared last week by President Trump. Both the post office and Warren Pacific Parks are unaffected by the holiday declaration. The Park Service, the Stell Newman Visitor Center and Bookstore will be open today, along with the post office in Agana, Tamuning, and Barragata. However, all other federal offices and agencies will be closed, except those that need to remain open for reasons of national security, defense, or other public need. Governor Eddie Calvo Friday also declaring today a holiday for Government of Guam employees. All GovGuam offices closed today in line with the federal holiday. Tax refund checks totaling nearly $1 million in the mail on their way to 314 tardy taxpayers. These checks are going to taxpayers who filed their returns after the April 15th deadline. The governor's office says the checks were mailed Saturday. They may just arrive in time for last-minute Christmas shopping today. Guam post offices are all open today. The checks cover error-free income tax returns filed through July 6. Portuguese men of war washing up along the eastern and northern shores of Guam. Trade wind swells have pushed them ashore, according to the National Weather Service, and residents and visitors alike are urged to avoid touching those Portuguese men of war. They can sting even when they're dead and washed ashore. The Weather Service is also warning residents of a high risk of rip currents, which remains in effect through Thursday morning. Guam Homeland Security and the Office of Civil Defense warning visitors to stay out of the water, at least avoid east and north-facing reefs and beaches until the hazardous conditions subside. Rip currents are life-threatening. A small craft advisory also in effect for the Mariana Islands until Thursday morning. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
We'll do 7:39. That's iConnect time. Swing by the nearest iConnect. They should all be open today, and find out about how you can get yourself to Manila with the Connect and Win game. All you got to do is sign up for your push-to-talk or mobile or internet plans, and just doing that, you got a chance to fly off and enjoy a stay at the Holiday Inn Resort. 'Tis the season for winning with iConnect. Introducing Exchanged, Guam's first online and mobile remittance to the Philippines.
Exchanged is the easiest and fastest way to send money to your family and friends anywhere in the Philippines. Download the Exchanged app or visit their website, exchange.me. Sign up, remit, and get a chance to win a trip for two to Manila. Deluxe accommodations at the Belmont Hotel at Resorts World Manila. So sign up and remit now at Exchanged. Promo ends March 2nd, 2019. Conditions apply. Also avail of Exchange dollar to remit promo. Visit exchange.me for details.
Where did I put it? Hold on. I got multiple traffic gizmos at work this morning, and so I just got to turn a couple of things on and see if there's anything like traffic here this morning. And it's not going to be happening on that one. Stand by. I got to look at the other one. I don't know. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot. That's why it's very low priority as I'm working through the holiday here this day. Yeah, I don't see a whole lot of traffic happening right now. There's a little bit of northbound traffic in between the Marine Corps Drive, yeah, in between where the flea market is and Payless. Might see a couple of things beginning to slow down around JFK and the Kmart area, and my guess is that's just everybody trying to get to Kmart for some last-minute shopping. You might see a little bit of traffic lined up northbound at Route 16 over by the Ocean Vista 76, and you know what? That might just be some people doing some shopping at the gas stations as well. Hey, dude, there's plenty. I actually thought about this yesterday. In terms of some last-minute gift ideas, and people like getting gasoline. You know, the same way that there's nothing wrong with getting a gift certificate from a department store or something online that you might be able to do. There's nothing wrong with getting an envelope full of cash. There's nothing wrong with somebody handing you a gift certificate for, X dollars worth of gas. And one of the things, it reminded me to get around to doing this. I haven't told you where Tapas is, and I haven't told you where West Texas is today. The rest of the markets are all screwed, but in terms of the oil markets, as far as we're concerned, they're pretty good. We'll talk about that after these messages.
Hungry? Stop by Circle K for Craft Kitchen's hot breakfast, lunch, and dinner items delivered fresh 3 times a day. Circle K. Take it easy.
Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Buy one, get one free. Stop by Circle K today and satisfy your heart's desires. Available at all Circle K stores, excluding Barragata Airport and Campers locations. Applies only to the 3.38-ounce servings.
It's a beautiful day. Any day, somebody can get me beard oil. It's a good day. My friend Dennis Bensour is online. And Dennis, I don't know if you can tell by watching the program, but these are the glasses that you brought back for me. Dennis and I were someplace together, and I mislaid my glasses, and he saw them and said, "I got to get those back to Ray." I appreciate that. There's and Lynn Perez is online. Nice to see you there, and just got back from doing some faster than usual running. That's nice. Lady D is on. Patrick Bumba. And who else? Paul Bloss, Jennifer Post Schnitger is online this morning as well. It's great to have everybody around for what is probably going to be, I don't know, in terms of holiday shows. I can tell by the Facebook Live numbers that for many of you, this is still how we're starting the day, holiday or not. Maybe waking up a little bit later than normal, but that's all right. That's okay. Sleep in tomorrow if you get a chance. Or will you? You still got some of you might have the little kids that will be racing down the hallway towards the Christmas tree to see what kind of loot Santa Claus left behind overnight. And maybe there's going to be some of that. And for others, And I'm delighted to see a lot of this with friends of mine, people that I've known all of my life, that are celebrating the holidays in a very, very special way. Lynn among them, Lynn and Bobby among them, who have got grown adult children that no longer live on Guam, but found the cash, put it on the credit card, whatever, got airplane tickets from the cold United States of America, and are going to be celebrating Christmas and New Year's holidays with moms and dads all over the island today, and that's got to be terrific, isn't it? Isn't that just fantastic? Maybe for some of you the most unexpected thing. I've got some great Christmas memories and flying around memories. I remember when in Christmas of '83. And I was living in Hawaii, trying to go to school at Chaminade and trying to work at a couple of great radio stations out there. And got to be Christmas time, and my mother was just besides herself. Anybody knew my mom likes, she likes, even Mother Ann likes to have all the chickens close, and was beside herself that I was off island. And so Big Sister Shelley and I hatched a plan to fly me home on Christmas Eve out of Honolulu in just enough time to get home. It wasn't Christmas Eve. It was just before Christmas Eve, but just in time to get home for Christmas celebrations on Guam. Complete surprise to my mother, and that was a beautiful Christmas and a beautiful Christmas memory. This time last year, I was getting ready to get on a plane to fly out to North Carolina, flying on Christmas Day to get out to North Carolina to see my father for what would have been our last Christmas together. And there's a great Christmas memory as well. I hope you make some for yourself. Hope this gets to be one where you are taking every opportunity to take every picture that you possibly can and sock it away for posterity. But let's make ourselves a pact, shall we? Let's do that. How many of you have got pictures, great, awesome photographs that you've taken all the way through the 2018, a great year, and maybe you got yourself a brand new phone early in the year with megapixels or something like that. Print some of those out. Print some of them out, if for no other reason, so that you can print them out and put them in some kind of a book and stick it on the coffee table, because that's where some of the great Christmas memories are, not just getting made, but getting remembered. How many of your favorite Christmas memories do you have in your head because A, they're there in your head, and because you were there, and how many of them have just been drilled in over all of the years because you've been looking at them in photo albums on coffee tables since you were just a little kid? Hello, Geraldine Menabusen. Nice to see you online. Brad Hokinson with his Christmas wishes. That's also pretty good. Merry Christmas to you all, says Lady D. To all of us, even the ones that are trying to take away our cockfighting. I had announced on, I guess it was Friday, right? When we got word that the president signed the Farm Bill.
That's it.
Yeah. See, I thought the cockfighting would take place immediately. The prohibition would take place immediately.
1 year.
A year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's going to be phased in over a year. But we need to hear more details, and I'm disappointed that the U.S. Attorney's Office has not responded.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Even the Guam Attorney General's office.
Yeah, that's the classic pass the buck.
Yeah. Well, Carlina does a great job over there, I think, trying to as much as possible, but really, who's going to make that decision? That's Levin's problem if he decides to take it up. To what degree will Levin talk about enforcing this federal law here on Guam? You might want to go back to the guys over at the Guam Police Department, the Fire Department, but I want to say that at least one guy that was interviewed that's very close to it says, yeah, that's not going to happen. You get a lot of these guys in the police department, fire department, etc. Guess what? They're cockfighters, and they're not going to enforce a law that might make it that much more difficult for them to have a good time on the weekends doing the things that they like to do. So we've got that cockfighting going to be prohibited, and as you say, phased in over the course of the year. I still have not come up. There's a parody name. We've got to work on this. We've got to brainstorm this kind of thing. There's a name for the guys that are going to be coming out here, or the federal enforcement people that are going to be having to dig through the boondocks of Guam to find these unregulated and illegal cockpits.
Well, I don't think they're going to send anybody out here.
I don't think they're going to send anybody out here either.
It's the law, and it's supposed to be local, federal, and local agents.
You know what? Here's the easy prediction. It'll be enforced by accident. We just didn't know it was going to be happening. What the heck?
They'll be referred to as those clucking feds.
Wait a second. That's a promotion. There's a T-shirt there, bro. There's write that. Don't. One of us needs to be writing this stuff down because that's just brilliant. But I can't say it off the. It's one of those things we have to record. We'd have to pre-record it because I can't do that one on the fly. Somebody with the license will be in jeopardy here. The radio station license. 10 away from the top of the hour, and I figured one of the other ways that we're going to find to pass the time here on the day before Christmas here on Guam is to maybe talk to some of our representatives, people that fortunately or as the case may be down the road, unfortunately, might have been called upon for continued public service in this town. Among them, Acting Speaker of the 34th Guam Legislature, Therese Terlai. Good morning, Chetch. How you doing?
Good morning, Ray. Good morning, everyone. I'm doing great. Thanks.
I want to wish you and the family a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. I want to wish you and everyone, really all the people of Guam, a Merry Christmas too. I've been so blessed, and really I'm so very grateful, and I just want everyone to know Christmas really gives us pause to be grateful and to remember all our blessings, and even without any new gifts, I think we all feel so blessed. But I'm also remembering, and I'm sure every family is remembering, people who we're missing at this time, who've passed on during this year especially. I know there are many people who will be missing a lot of people this year, and those who are away from us because they're living elsewhere, or they had to travel for medical reasons, or they're serving in the military.
Oh yeah, there's a big deployment underway now.
Yeah, so while we, celebrate, I know we also miss people a lot during this time, but yes, I am very grateful, and I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, and I hope everyone can find some joy today and the birth of Christ.
Oh, I'm sure that's primary in a lot of people's minds. I was thinking about it, and I was talking about some of my favorite Christmas memories from when I was growing up early on, and even in my adult years. You got a favorite Christmas memory that stands out in your head? Just the one that we kind of sit back on Christmas Eve or Christmas morning and let it take your breath away?
Well, maybe a couple, yes. Of course, when I had kids, but there's nothing that compares to that, having your little babies and taking them to their first Christmas Mass. I'll never forget that. My first child, taking her to her first Christmas Mass. I just wanted to cry. I was so emotional because it's such a special feeling, that midnight Mass and your whole village is there. I love that. And I remember also there's something, when they ask me about Guam Christmases, I always think of how all the churches set up their bilens. And one year we went, I don't know if it was a CCD class, but I was young, we went with a group of, like my age, I don't remember, high school or something. We went all around to every village to see the bilens. And the churches were open in those days. They weren't locked. So it's hard to do that nowadays. But we were able to see all the bilens all over the island. They were so beautiful. And every time I go and see one now, I always remember that trip that we took with, some students, and we went around, we saw all of those and all the love that goes into it, and all the work.
Oh, and it's not one of the things that I've always been fascinated by, and I pointed out every time I see it to people that don't know, is just the gathering of the lumut that you need. I mean, you put together a really good bilen, and it's not done until somebody lays down that mossy astroturf that is lumut, and that means that somebody had to go up, climb the hills up in Naruna or the Tekzen to go and get the really good, pull it all off at one time in 3x3 sheets of lumut.
Yeah, so like for Jonia, they have a group that goes out, so my brother always goes with them, and yeah, they spend the entire day doing that, and that's phase 2, right? First they construct the back, the I guess the wooden part, and then they put that lumut on, and So we've been seeing that in church. It's so beautiful. Just that alone is beautiful. Right?
Oh, isn't the thing? Now, we're talking going from Christmas memories to Christmas traditions. Do you have an? I'm talking with Therese Terlai, by the way, the acting speaker of the 34th Guam Legislature. Do you have any traditions that you and your family that you know has been going on in the family since after the war?
Oh, well, just the novenas, of course, but different family novenas. And the, well, for my family, I don't know, not since after the war because we're young, but the taking the Nino around, we really like to do that.
Oh, and really?
So, yeah. And so we try to do it, sometimes like when my parents are not feeling well, things are different, but yeah, that's something I really enjoyed when I was young, and I tried to make my kids do it when they were growing up, and so now as adults.
Yeah, but it's hard because it's hot outside.
Oh, and it's so different now because sometimes you go to houses and they don't know what's going on.
Right.
Like, why are you there? Yeah, and so it's very different, and that's a little sad, but we should try to do it for those who remember.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't know, it's and now usually it's altar boys or altar servers that are out there right now ringing the bell and going to people's houses with the baby Jesus, and you go and you got to give it the breathing kiss, and that's the way it's done.
Yes,
and paying all of the respects. Well, I tell you what, thanks so much for giving me some time here. It's always nice to get to know everybody else's Christmas traditions, and maybe the most important one of all, maybe the most important question of all is when in your family were you allowed to open your Christmas gifts? Was it midnight after Mass or Christmas morning?
Morning. We only could we opened one before the midnight mass, and that was normally our midnight mass close. We were going to get closed, and then everything was in the morning. Yeah, and we had to wait for everyone. Yeah. So
yes, the interminable wait until you. It's too bad you weren't the speaker then, a speaker of Christmas. Then you could call a session, and everybody would have to show up on time.
Yeah, no, that's the challenge now because now we're cooking and we've got kids and grandkids, and so it's a challenge to get everybody there early enough that it's cute to see the kids going crazy. Like, are we going to open the gifts now?
I feel that. Well, listen, it's great to share your Christmas memories. Thanks so much for sharing your Christmas memories with us on the radio. And we'll look forward to 2019. I hope we get I hope everybody is happy with the outcome on the majority leadership over at the legislature. As far as I know, there have not been any permanent announcements that have been made yet, and so I wish everybody good luck.
Thanks, Ray. Thank you. And Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas to you as well. And I will say thank you very much for one more thing, and that is impressing on the Committee of Rules the importance of coming out with the actual descriptions of the bills that are going to be talked about in session, as opposed to just here's the number and you got to sort it out yourself.
Oh, you're welcome.
I appreciate that transparency. Keep it up.
All right, Ray. Thanks so much.
Merry Christmas to you. Take care of you. Therese Terlai, the speaker of the acting speaker, well, I guess the speaker of the 34th Guam Legislature for whatever time they've got left over in that body. They're all done now, aren't they? Did they do the Synodi?
Well, no, they didn't.
No.
There's still a chance that they might have if the governor vetoes any of the bills that were recently passed. There may be override. Who knows? There's always an opportunity. They don't Synodi until.
But I thought they were looking at override opportunities while they were in session, and that
didn't happen.
It didn't happen because I remember Mike St. Nicholas was talking about that, where they wanted to get everything cleared up by that day, so that they could review some override opportunities. But it did not happen. No. All right, so it's just a wait and see on the measures that are in front of the governor right now, and to see whether he vetoes them, and if any of the members of the body feel strongly enough about an override.
There's still a chance that they might have another session.
Well, you know, the governor could veto. There's one in particular that I think the governor could veto. That could.
Which one?
274, the Tom Addis bill. I think it's 274, right? Tom has, it's the more taxes bill. It's the one where they're going to take, the $1 million or more.
The or more bill.
Yeah, I think there's because the governor's look, when Tommy was talking about doing that, they needed to make a correction in the 2019 budget, and the problem was without that there would not have been any additional revenue. But with the rate that the governor is spending money and these surprise holidays, to Thanksgiving.
I don't think
and
he's
today,
veto that. No.
Yeah, you know, if but why do it if we're not in a fiscal crisis? He says we're not in a fiscal crisis. He's spending like we're not in a fiscal crisis. So why put more burdens on the taxpayers?
Because that tax and the other taxes are in place. That's why there's no fiscal crisis anymore.
It's 8 o'clock in the morning. 888-825-5888-TALK. I'm sorry, it just seems to, counterintuitive, if you will. Stand by. Fox News Live is coming up next. We're KUSG, Hagunya, the Ray Gibson Show. Coming up in the next hour, my friend Blake Watson's back in the studio. We'll pretend to talk about sports. And I will say, I don't know that she's listening right now, but I will say thanks again to Renee Logie. And I'm sorry about the Bills today. All right, stand by now for Fox News Live.
An unceremonial send-off for a general. I'm Steve Rappaport, Fox News. President Trump cutting Defense Secretary James Mattis loose ahead of his planned retirement. Fox's Gernal Scott has more live.
Steve, the president tweeted Mattis will leave the Pentagon January 1st, 2 months earlier than planned. Was it a surprise? Not according to acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney on Fox News Sunday.
The president had known for quite some time now that Secretary Mattis and he did not share some of the same philosophies about they didn't have the same worldview.
The president's decision to pull troops out of Syria prompted a resignation from Mattis, but Senate Republicans are hoping to get the president to reconsider that. In the meantime, Deputy Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan will become acting Defense Secretary at the start of the new year, Steve.
Gernal, no end in sight to a partial government shutdown as the battle over a border wall continues.
It really is in the president's hands to decide. He says it's an issue of border security. I think we know better. It's an issue of his own political insecurity.
Senate Minority Whip Dick Durbin on NBC's Meet the Press. Republicans accuse the other side of holding the government hostage to score political points.
They have made this a political issue to say that a wall is immoral and that they won't support it.
House Republican John Ratcliffe on Fox's Sunday Morning Futures. The shutdown is expected to stretch beyond Christmas, possibly into the new year. Gas prices still coming down.
This time 8 cents over the past 2 weeks. The new average for a regular grade is $2.43, and just in the past 11 weeks, the price crash has amounted to 54 cents per gallon, mostly because of lower crude oil prices.
Industry analyst Trilby Lundberg says Baton Rouge, Louisiana has the lowest price in the continental U.S. at $1.94 per gallon. San Francisco, the highest at $3.55. Gas prices could start going up when OPEC cuts oil production next month. This is Fox News.
What are the benefits of switching to the handset payment option with GTA? For starters, you can customize a plan that matches your budget and lowers your monthly payment. HPO lets you upgrade to the latest phones whenever you want. No more waiting for a contract to end to get that slimmer, faster smartphone. Because with HPO, there are no contracts. HPO lets you design a phone plan that suits you. So join the thousands who've already switched to HPO, the most customizable phone plan on island. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply.
Bring joy to your world and your budget with a holiday loan from First Hawaiian Bank. At a low 4.99% APR, fixed for 1 year, it's a smart way to add ho 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 without budget uh-oh. To apply for a holiday loan, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or FHB.com. For more information, call 1-877-640-2337. Additional restrictions apply. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
A tsunami believed to be triggered by volcanic eruption, killing at least 222 people in Indonesia, more than 800 hurt.
The waves were as high as 65 feet as they crashed onto the island that was full of people celebrating the holiday weekend. The number of dead likely to rise with still many missing, and rescue crews unable to get to all of the devastated areas to search. The massive waves striking ashore, carrying away hotels, houses by the hundreds, and crowds of people, including many who were on the beach at a concert.
Fox's Jeff Paul. SpaceX launching the U.S. Air Force's most powerful GPS satellite ever built. The Air Force saying the satellite is 3 times more accurate than previous ones. The Falcon 9 rocket was supposed to blast off 5 days ago, but rocket concerns and weather delayed the flight. The U.S. Surgeon General warning e-cigarette use is rising dramatically among youth.
The use of e-cigarettes among high school students has increased 78% in just the past year.
We know that between the ages of 18 to 25 in particular, the brain is still developing, and learning, attention, memory, and even potential for addiction in the future can be affected.
Surgeon General Jerome Adams says parents need to have a conversation with kids and do it early.
I've got a 14, a 13, and a 9-year-old, and all 3 of my kids were exposed to e-cigarettes back when they were in elementary school.
The entire advisory can be found at surgeongeneral.gov.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. Swimming to the top of the box office.
I'm no leader. I came because I had no choice. I came to save my home and the people that I love.
Aquaman hauling an estimated $67.4 million. Disney's Mary Poppins returns in a distant second with $22 million, followed by the Transformers spin-off Bumblebee with $21 million. I'm Steve Rappaport, and this is Fox News.
Welcome to the annual holiday swap. Harold, you first.
Oh, it's a Subway card.
Wow. Nice. Sharon?
I'm going to take the Subway card.
Oh, Harold, now you can choose a new gift.
I think I'll just take that Subway card right back.
Okay.
I don't think you can do that, Harold. Stuff it, Glenn. This is between me and Sharon.
A Subway card is the gotta-have-it gift. With cards from $5 up to any amount, you'll give a gift and get a gift, too. Get a free 40-ounce fountain drink with a $20 load, or get a free regular 6-inch sub with a $30 load on any Subway card. Subway, make it what you want at participating restaurants.
Cheers to 80 years. It's our 80th anniversary and the gifts are on us. 80 gift certificates, 8 shopping sprees, 8 staycations, and 1 round trip flyaway for 2 to Manila. So how do you enter? Calvo's Insurance personal home and auto customers are automatically entered. Non-Calvo's customers may enter by receiving a qualified quote. It's our way of saying thank you for trusting us for the past 80 years. For more details, visit calvos.com/giveaway or call 472-6816. Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years.
Holiday Triton. This is Chelsea Ting, Communications Officer with Bank of Guam and proud alumna of the University of Guam, class of 2015. I made some of the best memories during my time as a Triton, but I also remember that it wasn't easy to pay for everything that I needed to graduate on time. I have committed to giving back through the G is for Giving campaign, which will help student scholarships, programs, and activities, and I encourage you to do the same. To make a tax-deductible donation, log on to supportuog.org by December 31st or call 735-2975 for more information.
Viva UOG! There's a reason every day a Guam homeowner is getting a solar system installed by Micronesia Renewable Energy. It's because MRE is the most trusted name in solar. With more solar energy solutions than any other solar company on island, homeowners have a choice to go solar for zero money down or take the path to ownership. Whichever way, it keeps our skies blue and your pockets green. And with the most experienced solar technicians and an energy production guarantee, there are no worries. Call 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, the smarter choice.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local-inspired breakfast. AM-loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 8 a.m. this Monday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. The partial shutdown of the federal government will, at least initially, have a minimal impact here on Guam. The U.S. Postal Service is not affected by the shutdown. Postal operations will continue. Park roads, walking paths, and memorials at the Warren the Pacific National Historical Parks on Guam will remain accessible to all visitors. However, Warren the Pacific Superintendent Barbara Alberti said emergency and rescue services may be limited and restroom maintenance and trash collection will be affected. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid benefits have all been funded and payments will remain uninterrupted. The partial shutdown went into effect at midnight on Friday after Congress refused President Trump's demand for funding to build a wall along the Mexican border. The situation not expected to be resolved until early January. Congress adjourned on Saturday for the Christmas holiday. Beyond the partial federal shutdown, today also happens to be a federal holiday on Guam and throughout the states, declared last week by President Trump. Both the post office and the Warren Pacific Park are unaffected by this federal holiday declaration. The Park Service, the Stella Newman Visitor Center and Bookstore all open today, along with the post offices in Agana, Tamuning, and Barrigada. However, all other federal offices and agencies are closed except those that need to remain open for reasons of national security, defense, or other public need. Meanwhile, Governor Eddie Calvo Friday declared today a holiday for Government of Guam employees. All GovGuam offices closed today in line with the federal holiday. We'll have more news after this.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point, Half a Day by Mark Benventi of Santa Rita. And this is where I start my day, listening to the voice of our community and sharing thoughts and issues that affect us all. It all boils down to our people, our land. Protei Igumamo, protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
News time here at The Point is 11 minutes past 8 a.m. Assistant U.S. Attorney Fred Black has filed a motion opposing dismissal of the drug charges against Raymond Martinez and Juanita Mosier. The couple has already been tried twice, and both trials ended in mistrials. Martinez and Mosier are accused in a scheme to smuggle 8 pounds of methamphetamine worth about $2.5 million into Guam. In his motion opposing a dismissal, Black argued for a third trial, calling it a case of significance, saying the people of Guam deserve a unanimous jury verdict. Black said that 2.5 hours of incriminating video and audio recordings present quite a strong case and show that the defendants were willing participants in the conspiracy. However, the defense has argued that a third retrial jeopardizes the defendants' constitutional rights. The defense has contended that their clients were entrapped by the federal government, who used a corrupt, high-ranking Guam customs officer to testify against Martinez and Mosier. 29-year-old man is under arrest on a criminal sexual conduct allegation for allegedly having sex with a 15-year-old girl he met on Tinder, an internet dating service. Guam Police spokesman Sergeant Paul Tapau reporting over the weekend that Ryan Michael Pollock of Manilao arrested following a complaint filed last Thursday by the Air Force Office of Special Investigations. Pollock told detectives he communicated with the girl on Tinder last Tuesday, and she went to Pollock's home where he said they had consensual sex. Pollock said the girl told him she was an adult. Pollock was arrested, charged with third and fourth degree criminal sexual conduct. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now take a look at weather.
It's breezy is the word. Partly cloudy and breezy skies, hot with isolated showers. Winds from the east blowing up to about 25 miles an hour, decreasing a bit overnight. Highs 89 degrees with the maximum afternoon heat index around 100 degrees. Overnight lows should be as low as about 76. Sunset tonight at 6, sunrise tomorrow morning about 6:40. And we'll take a look now at the satellite imagery and the radar imagery. Mike will give you an idea of what the very near-term weather is going to be looking like.
Looking at radar right now, and there's just not a whole lot out there. A little wave rolling through up to our northwest, but that's all pulling away. That's being pulled away by a very weak low-pressure area that's slowly developing down to our southwest and will continue to pull away over the coming days and head towards the Philippines. We're stuck in a pressure gradient between that low-pressure area there and a high pressure up to the north, which is going to give us the breezy conditions at least through tomorrow, probably right on through Wednesday or Thursday, but the wind should die down just a little bit as we get into the later parts of the week. And also, got some moisture associated with this low-pressure area, which is the reason we're going to have the heat index today. But again, as it pulls out, going to pull the moisture with us, and tomorrow it will be warm, it will be breezy, but it won't be quite as hot as today.
Gotcha. So it should be a nice Christmas day is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
All right. Only thing that you need to worry about now, not necessarily any threats from the skies. There is a high risk of rip currents through early Thursday morning along east-facing reefs. That and the man-o-war that are on the beaches out there and floating around in the waters in what seem to be pretty big numbers this year. It should be the clear indication that you should not go into the actual water at this time. You see something like that, make sure the kids get out of the water for sure. 8:14, that's news and weather together here on The Point.
Helen Keller once said, "Blindness separates us from things, but deafness separates us from people." At Ross Hearing Aids, it's their mission to keep you connected to the moments and the people that matter most in your life. Hearing aid technology has never been better, so schedule your complimentary hearing consultation today. Call Ross Hearing Aids, 637-HEAR, 637-4327. You should hear what you're missing.
I love you, Daddy.
How's your hearing?
I want to go to King's, Daddy. The crazy breakfast and the crazy holiday menu is there. What do you want, son? How about Fruity Pebbles pancakes? How about Hawaiian French toast? This is a great concept to begin. Who doesn't like French toast? But they do it this way. They use Hawaiian sweet bread, already mammoth in your face, battered and delicately French toasted, powdered sugar, syrup on top of it. It's already perfect. Doesn't need anything else. Find that for your crazy holiday breakfast at King's.
Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from King's Restaurants. Give a gift they are sure to love. Delicious food and friendly fun at King's. Get a coupon for a free single crate with every $20 gift card purchase. Extra holiday happiness from King's Restaurants. Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from Chuck E. Cheese's Guam, Ruby Tuesday, and King's Restaurants. Receive special offers with every purchase for extra holiday happiness. See stores for details and have fun this season from all of us at the GFS Group.
Yes, portions of the program, the Christmas Eve version of the Ray Gibson Show, brought to you by American Water Tech. Smarter water, better water. Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for all of your open heart surgical needs. Security title, ladies and gentlemen, if you need confidentiality, or maybe you've got a complex transaction that you're kind of stuck on, talk to them. They'll help unstuck you over at Security Title. American President Lines, they're shipping the future in Micronesia renewable energy. There's never been a better time to go solar.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagåtña, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
Holler out and let's see if we can find out where the Cold Stone's going to be open tomorrow, because I want to say they usually stay open at least for a little bit on the holidays. The reason why it's important is because they've got some great new holiday items that you might want to try for your big Christmas party tomorrow. The new Milk and Cookies ice cream made with chunky Chips Ahoy dark chocolate peppermint ice cream with premium Ghirardelli peppermint pieces, also available in the ice cream cake format at Cold Stone Creamery, celebrating 30 years of the ultimate ice cream experience.
Morning talk that matters. The Ray Gibson Show. Any speaker, anytime. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Ray Gibson Show, Christmas Eve, but there's a ton of football going on. Yesterday, I took a break from shopping over at Applebee's because they got a big screen TV over where they keep the grapefruit shandy, and watched a little bit of Ravens Chargers. Yeah, that was getting played yesterday. You want to talk about an animated crowd? The guy who was sitting next to me almost got thrown out because he couldn't control himself.
What was he going for?
Dropping F-bombs. I don't know. I couldn't tell. I think he was going for the...
There were two games on yesterday,
guys.
but yeah, the later game, the mid-afternoon game, which is probably about the time you were there, was Chargers-Ravens.
The Ravens were playing off on the deal yesterday, and before we get into anything, welcome back.
Thanks. It's good to be back.
Well,
I came back on Christmas Eve because, you know.
I don't know. You know what I should have done was I should have taken some video of Renee Logie, and that was so we get Blake in here. We have Blake's voice, but we'd still be able to see Renee. But that could she did an outstanding job in your stead.
I was listening,
coming in and talking about football, and she's like, as we were setting things up, she's, I don't have to do local sports, do I? I said, no, that's okay. There's not that much local sports going on anyway, but a bunch of big championships though.
There were a bunch of big championships. Was it?
Well, how many times are the St. Paul Warriors going to win? Because it seems to me every time I open up the back of a newspaper, I'm seeing pictures of the St. Paul Warriors girls basketball team.
Yeah, the Lady Warriors. They win another championship. The GW Geckos. They held off the Sanchez Sharks. No if game needed. They bring home the IIAG baseball title for the third time in 4 years. That happened about 9 days ago. Somewhere around there, right before I left you, maybe the day of. And let's see here. Yeah, do we have champions in soccer? Did I see that?
Yeah, I think so, but I can't remember who was it. Was it JFK and Father Duenas?
Yes, it was Harvest.
Like 3 games, 2 games that were getting played.
Yeah. One of them was a play-in game. The other one was a JFK. FD. I don't know.
So we'll have real sports on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll compile all of this.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to drop that on you.
No worries.
Because the reason why Blake hasn't been here for the last 7 working program days is because you got the baby. Coppola was born.
Coppola was born. He is. Thank you. I don't like.
How much time are we supposed to give you before we start doing that? You remember that one Looney Tunes where they're going Hansel, Gretel, Hansel, Gretel. So that's what we all thinking about this. Coppola.
Coppola.
Really?
Yeah, even his own grandma calls him Coppola, so we're still working on the.
Still don't know how to pronounce. Yeah, it's gonna be. How are we going to pronounce that name all day?
Yeah, so his big sister, who's 2.5, just calls him Coco. So we'll see.
Oh no, I like that.
Yeah, Coco.
I like that.
Because it's one of her favorite movies too on Netflix. So.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. But everybody's doing well. Everybody's doing fine.
I'm glad to hear that, and a couple of other babies that have been born under the watchful eye of Tom Shea recently, and so we're all very happy that everybody seems to be happy and healthy and hale these days. 20 after 8 o'clock in the morning, and before we get into the sports with Blake Shout, there's one other thing I wanted to point out here is the beard and the hair, and now Aquaman is out. Did you Aquaman over the weekend?
I have not yet, only because I can't.
You didn't Aquaman yet? I thought you were going to be first one in.
I was going to be first one in on Friday, but I was discharging from the hospital that morning. So it's kind of tough now to justify getting away with everybody at home. So I may just...
this is the perfect time.
So Wednesday, our Wednesday after our shows, when we have our meeting...
when we have our meeting?
It may go long. Our meeting may go a couple hours long. Into lunch, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, you might appreciate what I got you for Christmas then. 8:21 in the morning. Time for Sports with Blake! Dude, the playoffs are starting to take shape here, aren't they?
Playoffs are definitely starting to take shape, and a lot of teams actually had their playoff hopes dashed over the weekend and into the week. Speaking of Dr. Tom Shea, his, I believe, second year in a row, his Packers, because, they're the only publicly owned NFL team in the league, and he is part owner. His Packers, second year in a row, they're not going to make the postseason.
What happened?
Well,
was it this last game they played?
No, they fired their coach like 2 weeks ago. They haven't been doing very well, and they've had some injuries. But everybody else has had injuries too. So I think their coach.
They're 6-8 for the season. Forget it.
Yeah, and there's 2 more games, or there's a game left. And the thing is their quarterback is so good, and he's kind of masked poor coaching. So the coach has kind of ridden the coattails of a good player, and now the coaching.
isn't up to par, and they don't want to waste the, I guess, the prime of the quarterback. So they're going to move on and hopefully try to get him another Super Bowl.
So the standings at ESPN, we've got the Rams on top of the NFC West, NFC South looks like it's the Saints, NFC North, the Chicago Bears is 10-4 record, so they're looking really, really good there. Dallas Cowboys with 9-6. That's the hated Dallas Cowboys.
Very much hated.
For those of you that are new to the program here, Kansas City Chiefs 11-3, and then the Chargers with 11-4. What has to happen there?
Well, they're probably still going to get in as the wild card. But what may end up happening is I believe that they split. They both clinched the playoffs, so they'll both be there. But I don't know. It's going to depend on seeding, and there's also, like I said, there's one more week of games. So depending on who ends up with a better season record will depend on who is the higher seed in the playoffs out of those two, because they split their division rivals. So they play each other twice a year. They split. The Chiefs won one, and the Chargers beat them the second time.
So the Houston Texans, even though they lost, in this set of standings, they're still in the lead, 10-5, 10 wins, 5 losses. Indianapolis Colts, though, right behind them, as are the Tennessee Titans, 9-6 apiece.
Yeah, and so the thing is, the way it works is every first-place team in every division. So you'll have, let's see, 4 divisions, so 4 teams. Every first-place team in each division automatically gets a playoff spot, and then there's 2 spots in each conference for a wild card, and then that's where the record comes into play.
All right, so
more wins, more losses.
It looks like the Patriots are definitely going to be in, and I don't know if it's a sure shot. This is weird because the Steelers are 8-5, but number 1 in their standings, Baltimore Ravens are 9-6, so they got a better win record. Why aren't the Ravens on?
Steelers were actually 8-5-1.
Yeah,
they got that tie. So that's a half a win and a half loss.
All right, and that was from the Browns game, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Like really, the first game of the season, I think.
8:24 in the morning, and let's get into scores from today's games. It's the scores music.
Yeah, a little surprised by the Baltimore Chargers game. That was kind of wild. But Cleveland beat the Bengals. And I called that one. Yep. Because Cleveland actually looks like they've been coming along here in the last couple of weeks and got a new coach and everything. So they seem to have kind of pulled it together, at least to finish out the season. So, they took that one 26-18. And, of course, Dallas over Tampa Bay. No one surprised there.
Well, be surprised by the margin because Tampa Bay is a terrible team. Yeah. And they hung 20 on the Cowboys, and they only beat them by a touchdown. And that's a terrible defense.
Yeah.
So, hey, Cowboy fans, they're not what you think they are.
Yeah, they need to pull it together a little bit. Minnesota put it on Detroit pretty well. 27-9 was the final of that game. Colts 1 point better than the Giants. 28-27.
Yeah.
What a game.
Jacksonville took care of their division rivals, Miami. Not division, but I guess state rival. Miami 17-7, which is surprising. I thought Miami had a little bit more fight. Buffalo taking care of New England. Or, excuse me, other way around. New England taking care of Buffalo easily, 24-12. Jets beat... wow, is everything backwards? The Jets lose. I'm reading it. It's flipped.
Right,
all right, yeah. So the Packers we were just talking about, they somehow beat the Jets 44-38.
That was a shootout, man.
It really was. Rodgers was Rodgers in that game. The Texans, they can't get it done against the Eagles.
Yeah. We were actually being doubled up as we went into the fourth quarter. I had to start working, and I understand at that point we had actually gotten 1 point ahead of them before the end of the game, but they went down, I guess, and kicked a field goal and beat us. So that's how it goes.
With Seattle losing and Minnesota, both those teams basically needing to win out, keep an eye on the Eagles as they have won the last 2 games, and they could be in playoff contention.
There you go.
Depending on what everybody else does. Carolina, they lose to the Falcons, and their free fall, I guess, just continues 10-24. And then you got a couple games going on right now. The Rams all over the Cardinals, 21-9. Surprisingly enough, although still time, the Niners are leading the Bears 6-0. New Orleans is 1 point better than the Steelers right now. That's probably the best game going, 6-7 there. And then tonight, which will actually be an interesting game because I don't like Seattle, the Chiefs taking on the Seahawks. And then we got the Monday night game tomorrow morning.
You're alone on that one here because everybody on Guam likes Seattle because it's like we all got relatives there.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot. I think there's a good fan base. Where's a good place to watch that?
Well, like you said, Applebee's. I'm a big fan of Moses. Anywhere where they got a TV and good food and the beer flows. I mean, it's Christmas Eve, so go get you a beer before 11 a.m. You deserve it. You deserve it.
That's right.
You mean you don't have one before 11?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so there's that. But again, it was this most surprising. So I figured I was going to be alone, right? So I walked into Applebee's yesterday after trying to make it through the entire GPO process. Everything except Ross over at GPO, right? And it's not that I don't like Ross. It's just I don't like.
It's that line.
It's the line, and I know that they work on it to try to make it go fast. It just it's not my poison, right?
Yeah.
So every other place was cool, and then it was all right. I got all my stuff. Oh. So, I am the absolute worst. I should not be trusted to go shopping on my own.
Oh, what did you do? What did you buy?
Tommy.
Hilfiger.
Really?
For yourself? For yourself?
Of course, for me. Of course. So I walk in, because I can see a sale sign in 20 different languages, too. And so I go, hey. The Koreans like the store. What's not to love? So I walk in there, and first of all, everything is on sale, like 40% off on all of the stuff I was looking for, right? And then the lady in the front, nice girl, hands me a card, and I'm like, "What's this for?" She says, "It's 15% more." So all of your purchases, add it all up, all of the sale prices, and then it's 15% off, even more.
They should just hand stuff away at the door when you walk in. Here, have a shirt.
Here's your shirt. But you like skinny pants? Here's your skinny pants. It was absolutely great. So I'm all done with that, and I figure, okay, I've done as much damage as I can over here at GPO. I need to do a couple of other locations for shopping, and so I went over to Applebee's, and like I said, I thought I was going to be alone.
Yeah.
Because it was, it's Sunday before Christmas.
And it's that weird
everybody's
window.
either at church or shopping.
Right. It's that weird window, too, where, like, a lot of restaurants close, like 2:15 in the afternoon, where, there's not a lot going on.
But the place was absolutely jammed with people. And I thought, okay, good. I'm not the only one that's going to find my way to the bar for a cold
We got one good one before I miss it, because there's always interesting NBA, like the NBA primetime matchups always happen Christmas Day, thanks to the league and ESPN. So for all you NBA fans, Christmas Eve or Christmas Day will not disappoint. You get your big LeBron versus Steph Curry, LA Lakers, Golden State Christmas Day matchup tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. So there you go.
But there's also a Tuesday game, right?
Well, there's no games. There's games.
There's a Monday night game. Isn't there?
No, it says no game scheduled for Monday, December 24th, which I guess will be tonight for us. But Christmas Day, you got Milwaukee, New York. You got the Thunder and the Rockets, the 76ers, Boston. Like I said, Lakers, Golden State Warriors, which will be the big game on ABC, and then the Trailblazers and the Utah Jazz.
Chris Bacino says, "Go LA Rams and go Chiefs."
There you go. That's my Super Bowl picks. That's what I'm going for too. So
but the Chiefs got there was atonement that needed to be made between Renee and Mike last week.
What happened?
Because they called the Chiefs were supposed to beat Chicago, wasn't it?
Well, and the Chargers just had it. They did what they needed to do and won the game. So I mean, that's just how it goes.
And I watched that game. That game, Ray, literally came down to the last play. It came down to this last snap of the game.
I mean, Kansas City should have won, but they didn't.
And they were playing. And honestly, if you watch that game, and especially the last 5 minutes of that game, there's no doubt that Kansas City wasn't going to win. It's just that the Chargers pulled out some magic.
They're the first team to do that ever.
It was a really good game. It was either way, as a sports fan, it was a great finish, great game.
That's all we got. Now, one other thing here that's sort of sports, sort of news related. Have you had a chance to talk with your boys from the hood about the cockfighting ban? Now that they've signed off on the president signed off on the farm bill.
Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't had a chance to talk to anybody about it.
See, you heard? It's boastful. That's a boastful chicken. That's a you're not going to get me in the ring chicken.
It's just the argument, and I may get in trouble for saying that, but it's just the argument. I think I am on the fence of I just need something better than it's the way it's always been. So let us do it. I need.
That is a fine argument. There's nothing wrong with making that argument. It's how it's always been, and that's how we like it. So don't make us change.
I get it, but
the people are imposing their morality now and their decisions on what is good for chickens and what is bad for chickens, and saying that we don't like you guys doing that, so you can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean I get it. I get it. Speaking of, my mom's on island, and I've been cooking vegan for the last 4 days, so that's been kind of tough to work around. So I've been I've been doing my part for the chicken.
I'm totally not saying anything
by not harming any.
That's why you look so tired.
Yeah, that's why I look so gaunt and yellow.
You need some iron in your diet. Look, 8:32. We'll spend some more time doing this Christmas morning with the 2-year-old and the new baby. Congratulations to you, Dad, and Mrs. Sports. We'll get caught up on Wednesday.
Yes, Santa Claus is going to come. Hope you're all nice. See you after Christmas.
8:33 or so. Headlines with Kevin Kerrigan is next.
Bring joy to your world and your budget with a holiday loan from First Hawaiian Bank. At a low 4.99% APR, fixed for 1 year, it's a smart way to add ho-ho-ho without budget uh-oh. To apply for a holiday loan, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or FHB.com. For more information, call 1-877-640-2337. Additional restrictions apply. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Lady D says cockfighting is a sport. And what was the name of the lady that you guys were able to get a hold of over at the well, I know it was her, but you talked to another lady from, what was it, Humane Society?
Yes.
Yeah, you quoted the Humane Society, and they said that it's a blood sport whose time has come and gone.
Exactly. That's what she said.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, just like I said, it's just the idea that it passed the House, the Senate got signed without anybody even trying to talk to anybody from Guam or some of the other territories who've been trying to fight this thing for a long, long time. And they take it out on us, the people that have absolutely no say whatsoever in the House and the Senate. It's 8:34 in the morning, time for headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, parents of students at Ocean View Middle School staged a protest Friday afternoon outside the school, calling on the Guam Department of Education to take stronger action to protect the safety of students there. Protest followed reports that a student at the school was allowed to remain in class and not expelled after he threatened to bring a gun to school and shoot people. The decision sparked outrage from parents and staff, and what began with a parent-teacher organization meeting last Tuesday has now evolved into a call for policy reform. The time for talking is pretty much over, said Pearl Lujan. All of us parents, she said, want to see something done. Education Superintendent John Fernandez, however, has said that he does not make decisions about the welfare of students based on protests, but on the information that the school provides and the assessment of the needs of the student and the school community. Pay raises worth $190,000 were approved for employees at Guam Memorial Hospital in the 2018 fiscal year that ended September 30th, according to GMH Chief Financial Officer Benita Manglonia. Salary increases were still allowed last fiscal year, said GMH Administrator Peter John Camacho. If they were due to the employees, they were paid to the employees. During the height of the financial crisis in February and March of this year, Camacho said GMH, like other agencies, were instructed to implement cost containment measures, but the executive orders issued by the governor at that time did not impose a salary freeze or a hiring freeze, Camacho said. He said now that the hospital is in fiscal year 2019, work performance evaluations for hospital employees continue to be submitted and reviewed. That still needs to be done, he said, but no increments for the fiscal year have been processed. Under the current budget law for 2019, salary increments have been frozen for the fiscal year. However, two recent opinions from the Guam Attorney General have found that the hiring and promotion freezes in the budget law are inorganic and unenforceable. Both opinions suggest that the salary freeze may be inorganic as well, and the Attorney General has signaled that an opinion on that issue is coming soon. Tax refund checks totaling nearly $1 million are in the mail and on their way to 314 tardy taxpayers. These checks are going to taxpayers who filed their returns after April 15th. The governor's office says the checks were mailed Saturday. They may just arrive in time for last-minute Christmas shopping today. Guam post offices are open today. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Gotcha. Oh, that was the last newscast that you're going to be doing for the morning. So this is the get out of here version of Merry Christmas. Enjoy the rest of your day-to-day and enjoy your day off tomorrow. And I know Jerry's going to want you to enjoy reading that book, The Reporter.
And we'll see you Wednesday.
I'm looking forward to that. It's 8:37. So there'll be a Wednesday newscast, but there won't be any Daily Post on Wednesday. Daily Post not going to be published the day after Christmas. I'm absolutely incapable of declaring a holiday. In fact, I want to be the slave driver who says, everybody, not only are we working all day today, we're going to work into the night. Make commercials for Thursday and into the new year. What do you say? Revolution. It'll be a bloody revolution. It's 8:37 in the morning, and that's iConnect time. Yeah. Passive-aggressive much. iConnect time in the studio. Swing by the nearest iConnect. They're going to be open, but I'm told that their half day is as well today. So this might be one of your last chances to get involved in the Connect and Win contest. You and a friend in Manila at the Holiday Inn Express. It all starts with signing up for an annual plan. That's 12 months worth of push-to-talk or mobile or internet plans with iConnect. 'Tis the season for winning at iConnect.
Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from Ruby Tuesday. Buy a $25 or $50 gift card for those on your shopping list. Get a $15 bonus coupon with every $50 card purchase. Some extra holiday happiness from Ruby Tuesday. Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from Chuck E. Cheese's Guam. Get a free medium pizza with every $25 gift card purchase and a free extra large pizza with every $50 gift card purchase. Some extra holiday happiness from Chuck E. Cheese's Guam.
There's nothing happening out there. I'm looking at the traffic gizmo, and I don't see any major accidents. I don't see any serious buildups. Nothing in front of Micronesia Mall and that whole area there. Nothing in front of Guam Regional Medical City. Navy Hospital looks like it's going to be a breeze to get into this morning. Same thing with Big Navy and Anderson Air Force Base. Might see a little bit. It's not even big enough to mention here. It's northbound traffic, in fact, between the Payless and Waiseng Song Road. So I don't know what the heck that's all about. A little bit of traffic in front of Kmart area because it's Kmart the day before Christmas, right? Panic shopping galore. Is that you I'm talking about? What's that? Merry Christmas from the BK family to all of us here. Appreciate that, Rudy, and Merry Christmas to you. We're looking forward to another year working together. In 20 minutes, it'll be 9 o'clock in the morning. That's Right Now Traffic here on The Point.
Hungry? Stop by Circle K for Craft Kitchen's hot breakfast, lunch, and dinner items delivered fresh 3 times a day. Circle K. Take it easy.
Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Buy one, get one free. Stop by Circle K today and satisfy your heart's desires. Available at all Circle K stores, excluding Barragata Airport and Campers locations. Applies only to the 3.38-ounce servings.
Hark, Herald Angels are singing. Hi, it's the Ray Gibson Show, 93.3 The Point, day before Christmas 2018. And this is going to be, I think it's going to be a nice Christmas for everybody. Seems to, I haven't heard anybody doing a whole lot of complaining. And in fact, before I get into the stock market, which I still haven't done, give me an opportunity just real quick to talk about Guam is good. There was a story on Facebook that I put up there last night. As I'm walking around GPO, and I just tried on a pair of pants at Tommy's, and I guess that kind of jumbled things around in my pocket. And inside my pocket was a $20 bill, crisp, just like strip joint crisp, $20 bill, and it fell out of my pocket as I'm walking down. In fact, I was talking with my classmate, Jay Paris, from the Zori's place that they've got there. And, and a woman comes up behind and says, Sir, I think that money fell out of your pocket. And she was pointing at the dough on the ground at GPO. And any other time, maybe any other place, would have gotten snapped up just like that. Wouldn't have gotten warm on the ground. And I just thank you very much. And she went on with her Christmas shopping. And as I said, went from there over to Applebee's to take a break, watch a little bit of football going on. And same thing. I was taking things out of my pocket to put them on the bar, and I guess the $20 bill fell out. And a lady from the table behind me got up. Sir, I think that's yours. And either one of these ladies could have taken the dough. Anybody could have taken the dough, and I would not have been the wiser. I would have at some point reached into my pocket, and it's not there. But they did, and so you know, I don't know. I'm sure they're like that year round, but for me personally, they're no greater sign of the Christmas spirit than just that. And I thought that was fantastic, and I used that to pay for my beer.
Of course, now that you've relayed that story, you're going to be walking places, and you're going to wonder, why are all these people following me?
He's got holes in his pocket or something like that. 8:42 in the morning. I hope that you have been treated to some of that kind of Christmas spirit, or just the spirit. Something taking hold of people. Guam is good. And the fact that there were a couple of people that went out of their way to make sure that I was $20 fatter, I think that's fantastic. 888-8255. There's another story on page 2 of one of the Guam Daily Posts about Jermaine Alerta. Lost his laptop computer and it got returned to him. Right? You know, it's just one of those things. So maybe in another place or another time, it wouldn't have necessarily gone down like that. But we do have lots of angels floating around these days. 8:43 in the morning, 4 o'clock this afternoon, just like clockwork. There is going to be a pre-Christmas Tall Tales program hosted by none other than Senator Bob Klitsky. Morning, Senator.
Good morning, Ray.
It's always nice to hear from you. What are you and Lou got planned for tomorrow?
Christmas with the family.
Ah, that's nice. Tell me about Christmas when you were growing up.
Well, let's see. My father was from a family of 7. So on Christmas and Thanksgiving, we'd always get together at one of the brothers' house. And, you know, that would usually entail a crowd of about 30 or 40 people.
It sounds huge.
Yeah. For that part of the country, and then you know, we would open presents on Christmas morning, and proceed to whichever brother was having the Christmas dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd eat dinner around noon, and then all of the adults would take a nap.
Keep going. It still sounds good.
And then after a nap, they'd all play hearts until pretty late in the night. You know, then we'd have supper, and the thing would break up about 8 o'clock at night.
You've mentioned a couple of things that will need some kind of a definition. I'm born and raised on Guam, and we got 3 meals: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But you were saying you've got a dinner at noon, and then supper after that.
Yeah, that's the way we used to do it back in Wisconsin. Dinner was noon, supper was 6 o'clock or so.
Where's lunch in there? So obviously breakfast is breakfast, and then you go into dinner and then supper. What happened to lunch?
Well, lunch and or dinner would occur at noon, depending on the heft of the meal.
Ah, the heft. So if it was just kind of a snack sandwiches or something, we called that lunch. But if it came out to be a full-blown couple of courses meal, then it was that was dinner at noon.
Yeah.
As I said, it's just one of those things that just runs counter to what I was raised with. But it doesn't sound like all that much has changed between the way that you did Christmas and the way we do Christmas now. As you wake up, open some presents, go and find some family.
Yep.
Perfect. Well, I'm glad that you've got some family to come and find you and Auntie Lou for tomorrow. Speaking of Auntie Lou, still haven't been able to get a hold of Governor-elect Lou Leon Guerrero, who in years past has gone out of her way to make sure that I was able to get some Christmas pastries, homemade by Lou Leon Guerrero, Christmas pastries, here at the radio station.
Well, that was before the election, Ray.
You're a funny son of a gun. 8:46 in the morning. Senator Bob Klitsky, and the reason why I'm called is, as usual, I found myself not understanding what, for lawyers, might be the plain English kind of read of the judgment that came out of a federal court, I guess, in Hawaii on the Chamorro Land Trust, or the U.S. of A. versus the Chamorro Land Trust Commission.
Right.
Can you give me the Cliff Notes version of what it is? It was 74 pages that BJ sent me on Friday, and even though I did the old journalist trick of just going to the end, the back page, and seeing what it said there, I still didn't really understand it.
Well, the short version is that so far, Guam is winning, and the reason that Guam is winning is that the judge bought the theory that the Chamorro Land Trust, and as used in the Chamorro Land Trust Act, the term Native Chamorro is a political, not a racial classification.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a political classification, it's probably okay. If it's a racial classification, that's something else again. There are a couple of key words when you get into this area of the law. There's if you're talking about racial classification, strict scrutiny is required. If you're talking about a political classification, a rational basis scrutiny is required. The judge said she's not going to determine which we are dealing with now, but her opinion pretty much proceeds on the basis that it's a rational basis determination. So she goes through the various laws that were passed by Congress at the end of World War II and local laws, and then she determined that the Chamorro Land Trust Act was a mechanism to give land to people who had lost their land during and after World War II.
Now, was there something specific that the U.S. government was looking for that they did not receive or that was denied? It sounded like they were looking for some kind of summary judgment.
Well, the procedural challenge was cross motions for judgment on the pleadings. So judgment on the pleadings means that the judge looks at the complaint and the answer and proceeds on the basis that well-pled allegations are true and rules from there. She said that on the record before her, she couldn't make a determination as to whether or not the Chamorro Land Trust Act was racially discriminatory. She certainly tipped her hand.
Well, if that's what you believe the indication is, and said that she could not see that at this time, and the same thing with I think somebody was looking for monetary damages as well, that the court was not willing to grant at this time, leaving at least in my mind the idea that she would still be open to some other arguments coming forward. But you don't think that's it's likely to change her mind? Do you think there are any arguments that could come forward to change her mind past this?
Yeah, I think so, but it's going to be a hard uphill fight, I think.
Mm-hmm. But we're talking about the federal government that's taking on this battle.
True.
I wonder what's going to happen next, now that we've passed this procedural hurdle.
Well, I think there will be some discovery, and when the discovery is over, cross motions for summary judgment.
Is this a case that is appealable at the end?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So I guess that will end up being the what's next.
Probably.
Even after, if this judge shows any kind of the indication that she's already kind of lined up on things, I don't know. Is there can you claim some kind of bias one way or the other here?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Now, the only other thing that I wanted to find out, because I heard you talking a little bit about this on Friday, so clearly you'd gotten the word before you went on the air or around that time that there was, in fact, going to be a Gov Guam holiday on Monday.
Yeah. Wow.
So I was kind of amused when I saw there was a note that came out from the legislature that said, based on the governor's executive order, they were going to take Monday off too. And I thought, wait a second, the legislature doesn't work for the governor.
And the same thing with the court.
Right, yeah, these other branches of government, could they not have stayed in and gotten some work done today?
There was no good reason that they couldn't. They want to maintain that they're separate, co-equal branches of government right up until the time that the governor says, let's take the day off.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're not so independent anymore.
There's another concept in my head. There's a front page of today's Guam Daily Post. They're talking about $190,000 worth of bonuses and salary increases going on over at Guam Memorial Hospital. And the statement was made by Peter John Camacho. It says, well, this refers to spend and increments that were earned in 2018 when they weren't prohibited by the budget law. 2019, there's a prohibition on these salary increases, et cetera, in the agencies of the government of Guam. Now, the Attorney General's office has said that those are inorganic, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So the question that I have, though, are there not times where the legislature can prescribe those policies where it comes to salaries in the executive branch?
It would have to be some very carefully drawn legislation, but it could be done.
Well, I was thinking about. I'm sorry. Wait a second. Hold on. Turn that. I'm getting somebody's Christmas thing on the phone. Hold on. I don't know how to make that stop. But I was thinking in terms of like the minimum. Throw it at something, that'll make it go away. But I was thinking in terms of like the minimum wage, which the last increase in the minimum wage for the government of Guam and the private sector came out of legislation that B.J. Cruz had introduced over in the 33rd, I think it was, Guam legislature, maybe early 34th. Why would there be a necessity for the administration to take on the increase in a minimum wage if the conversation started at the legislature? So what I'm saying is if the prohibition on increases is inorganic because it comes from other than the administrative branch of the government, why would an increase in minimum wage need to be followed if it originates in the same place?
Well, the touchstone in the Attorney General's opinion was that what the legislature did impacted the governor's ability to operate the government too heavily.
But something like determining where we're going to start salaries in the government of Guam does not?
Well, and then the opinion also referenced a section of the Organic Act that said the legislature shall establish a merit system. And apparently the Attorney General thought that salary increment freeze was contrary to the merit system.
But if it's the same language that we're talking about from the same document, it seems to me that you can't have one without the other. If we're going to say that the legislature and arguably an increase in the minimum wage has to be considered some kind of a merit approval, if they're going to allow it in that case, then they would also have to accept any prohibitions that are put on them.
Well, the minimum wage, of course, applies in the private sector, whereas what the budget law did applied only to government employees.
Right. Well, it's still kind of tricky in my head. If you ask me, I always thought it'd be fine. You can determine whatever you want the minimum wage to be for the government of Guam anytime you want to, but you shouldn't be able to reach into my pockets as an employer, as somebody who hires people, and tell me where to start at, other than what the federal government already prescribes.
Yeah, I feel the same way, Ray.
Yeah. Let's take another look at the Organic Act. Hey, listen, I got to let you run because I know you got a program to get ready for, and it's going to be a busy afternoon for you with a lot of people doing their last-minute stuff. So Merry Christmas to you and Auntie Lou. I'll talk to you soon, and I'll hear you at 4.
Merry Christmas, Ray.
Okay, my friend. 888-8255. That's 888-TALK. All the way up in Saipan into CNMI. My buddy Ed Areola, and we were threatening to get together a little bit earlier today, but it's been that kind of program, so I appreciate being able to line up with you now.
Morning, Ray. Hi. Half a day from 670.
Half a day from 671. Feliz Navidad and Buenos Año Nuevo.
How are you?
You know what? I'm good, and I'm glad to hear continuing reports that that Saipan is recovering, maybe at a faster pace than some people had originally thought.
I think it's a much faster pace than it was back in 2015 with Sodalor.
Yeah.
Back in 2015, if I can just, this Azuda Foundation and their board and their staff, these guys have, and the work they've done down on Guam in Sodalor, gathering donated supplies and stuffing it into containers and purchasing anything that's needed. It was incredible back in 2015, but even more so in this typhoon, in Typhoon Yutu. Wow, Ray, these containers have been coming nonstop into Tinian and Saipan. It's just been great to unload these containers for them and send it and get them out to the people.
I'll tell you what, is having been involved in different levels of recovery conversation here on Guam, I mean, I knew it was going to happen fast, and I knew exactly the right people to call, and I knew that they knew, as you say, it's simpler to do these days. Unfortunately, we've had all over the Pacific a variety of other weather-related disasters, and frankly, between Jim Arreola and Frank Blas and Carlotta Leon Guerrero, they're pretty good at mobilizing all of the tools that they need to get things up there.
Oh, yeah, they would. I mean, if I go back to the day after the typhoon, I remember I was just getting, phone calls from them and phone calls from my family asking me how I was. And my family would ask how I was. My cousin Frank, my cousin Ania, Jay, all of them would ask, how are you, Eddie Boy? And I'd say, I'm good. And then they'd say, what do you need? What do you need? What does Saipan need? And we're gonna talk to the people here on Guam, the right people, and we're gonna get everything up to Saipan. And as I'd run into other people around Saipan, they'd say, hey, I got a call from this organization or from that organization, and they're gonna start sending things up. So we cross-check our list and say, okay, I'm gonna get canned goods and water. What are you getting? Okay, I'm getting another organization. I'm getting mosquito nets. I'm getting mosquito repellent. And then when the items would arrive on Saipan, we'd call each other and say, hey, I got excess of this or excess of that.
Yeah.
So really fast mobilization.
I'm more interested in a little bit of that. We talked about how bad it was the days after between you and Brad and some other folks that we know and love up in Saipan. We had a pretty good sense of the nature of the destruction almost immediately. But as I said, the infrastructure of recovery and the amount of attention that Saipan and Tinian has received from Guam is kind of breathtaking. So if you don't mind, can we put you on hold for a couple more minutes? Sure. Let me get past the news. We'll return to the conversation. Ed Arreola is on the line from up in the NMI, and we're going to spend some time talking about the kind of formal and informal version of distribution of all of the goods that have gone from here to there. We're KUSG Agana. Here's Fox News.
Home for the holidays and maybe longer. I'm Steve Rappaport, Fox News. Plenty of blame, but no solutions to end the government shutdown triggered by a stalemate over border wall funding.
GOP Senator David Perdue, exclusively on Fox's Sunday Morning Futures, says Democrats are playing politics with the wall.
This is about the Democrats not wanting the president to actually follow through on his commitment.
But Democratic Senator Jeff Merkley on ABC's This Week says if the president wants that money, boosting technology is a better plan.
To spend it on a fourth-century strategy rather than on stuff that actually improves border security is something we're just not going to do.
The president in a tweet downplayed technology, saying a good old-fashioned wall will work.
Fox's Gernal Scott. President Trump on Twitter naming Deputy Defense Chief Patrick Shanahan as acting secretary beginning January 1st.
We were expecting General James Mattis to stay in his position as Secretary of Defense until February. Mattis, of course, resigned just a couple of days ago, saying that he felt that the president deserved to have a Secretary of Defense whose views were more aligned with his. And he cited some various things, including relationships with allies, as a view that no longer aligned between himself and President Trump.
Fox's Ellison Barber at the White House. A tsunami in Indonesia killing at least 222 people.
Low-lying coastal areas around the Sunda Strait were submerged as the huge waves swept away everything in their path.
I was at home and watching television at the time. Then I heard a rumbling sound and I thought it was the wind. After I opened the door, water came in quickly and dragged me out. When I saw outside the sea was receding, I decided to run and go as the water came again for the second time.
This is the second tsunami in 3 months to hit Indonesia.
Sky News correspondent David Bowden. Indonesian officials saying more than 800 people were injured, dozens of others missing. This is Fox News.
Chili's 3 for Me menu just got bigger. We're giving you more choices for the same great price. For just $15, you can get a beverage, salad, and an entree. First, choose from a refreshing Coca-Cola, iced tea, or Heineken on draft. Then enjoy a house salad and select your choice of a mouth-watering entree, like our half-rack ribs, Cajun chicken pasta, old-timer burger, personal chicken fajitas, or the flavorful margarita flatbread. So hurry in today and enjoy our Chili's 3 for Me menu for just $15. Available for a limited time. Chili's, more life happens here.
Boldly styled, meticulously refined. The 2019 ES350 features a longer, wider stance and a sleek coupe-like silhouette inherited from the flagship LS. The ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive. Visit the Lexus showroom today at Atkins Kroll during the December to Remember sales event. Drive home a 2019 ES350 for 0 down and 1.99% APR for 60 months. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details. Experience amazing.
Another drop at the gas pumps. Prices coming down 8 cents in the past 2 weeks. The new national average is $2.43 for a gallon of regular.
Just in the past few days, crude oil prices are down again, the OPEC production cutback announcement notwithstanding, and gasoline prices have not yet caught up. If we don't see a jump in crude oil prices for some reason, then there will probably be a few more cents at the pump fairly quickly.
Industry analyst Trilby Lundberg. The Massachusetts lawsuit against the maker of OxyContin now claims the family that owns the company is personally responsible for the drug's abuse.
The filing expands on a previous lawsuit from June. The state is accusing the Sackler family of controlling a deceptive sales campaign by Purdue Pharma aimed at getting more people on higher doses of opioids to boost profits. They allege the family directed the company to hire hundreds of additional sales reps to visit doctors and pressure them to prescribe their painkiller. The Connecticut-based company denies the allegation, saying the updated suit is irresponsible and inaccurate. In 2007, the drug maker agreed to pay nearly $20 million to settle lawsuits that claimed Purdue aggressively marketed OxyContin to doctors while downplaying the risk of addiction. Jerry Thomas, Fox News.
Some people will see a white Christmas.
There are a couple of systems we're going to be tracking here the next couple of days. At least one of them is going to bring some flurries. Here's the one for the East Coast, a little bit of a low-pressure system moving across, now getting its way into the mid-Atlantic. The front side of this temperature is just way too warm. The back side, though, we have seen a little bit of dusting of the snow stretching from Illinois into Indiana and Ohio.
Fox News meteorologist Adam Klotz. The government shutdown won't stop an accidental tradition. Hundreds of volunteers will man the phones at NORAD, taking calls from kids asking when Santa will arrive. The NORAD Santa Tracker started in 1955 when an ad encouraged children to call Santa, but printed the wrong number. I'm Steve Rappaport, and this is Fox News.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagåtña, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
The crazy holiday menu is still ongoing over at King's, where you can find the ribeye and eggs breakfast. Yeah, there's a lot here. Let me unpack this for you. Tender grilled 14-ounce choice ribeye steak. Little rare for my taste, but okay. Cooked to your liking and served with 2 eggs any way you want them, and hashed browns. And it's King's. Get some extras on that, would you? I mean, it's you know, you can handle a 14-ounce steak and then some, can't you? Find that. It's part of the holiday menu at King's.
Because I just signed up for a 12-month iConnect plan, I'm automatically entered into iConnect's Connect and Win giveaway. iConnect is giving away a trip for 2 to Manila with a stay at the new Holiday Inn Express. They'll also be giving away an Apple Watch, Apple TV, more Mabuhay miles, Fitbits, and Beyond the Box gift cards. Go to iConnectGuam.com for details or call 888-8888 to learn how you can connect and win with iConnect.
Conditions apply.
I might could. Look what we got here. Portions of the Christmas Eve version of The Ray Gibson Show, brought to you by American President Lines. They're shipping the future Micronesia renewable energy. There's never been a better time to go solar. I like the folks over at American Water Tech, making water smarter water, better water, and Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for all of your open heart surgical needs.
At the heart of everything we do is our mission to improve the life of every child. From mungy nennies to growing teens, they'll be in trusted hands at FHP Health Center, where we offer comprehensive pediatric services to nurture and protect your child's health from day one. Begin your little one's journey to good health at FHP with seasoned pediatricians and professional staff who hold decades of combined experience. FHP Health Center, our island, your clinic.
What's going on in Guam? We'll keep talking about it in a second. Portions of the program also brought to you by Wendy's, featuring a new artisan bread masterpiece, the bacon maple chicken sandwich. The part where it gets to be artisan bread here, and it's kind of buried in the copy, is everything I'm going to tell you about is served on a fluffy and warm croissant bun. So it starts with bacon. It starts with a hot, crispy, home-style chicken fillet. They top that with Swiss cheese, put some applewood smoked bacon on it, and then they crown it with a sweet and savory maple glaze. And then there's the croissant bun, so you can hold it without getting the maple glaze all over your fingers. Only available for a limited time at Wendy's. Quality is their recipe.
The Coconut Wireless is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Any speaker, anytime. On demand at thepoint.gu.
Studio time, 8 after 9, 888-825-5888-TALK. You know, it wasn't that long ago in my memory, we got smacked here on Guam with a typhoon at Christmas time. And as usual, you know, you start looking around for some kind of quarter and some kind of love. And it was almost immediate that our friends up in Saipan came to the aid of the island of Guam after that storm, and it's something that I'm sure has repeated itself, maybe over the centuries when you stop and think about the long years that people have lived on one island or another. It might have been one of those things where, you know, there was a big enough blow in Saipan, everybody'd get in a canoes and head south and hit Tinian and Rhoda, and then eventually on to Guam, and vice versa. If things get bad here on Guam and all the breadfruit's blown away and all the bananas are on the ground, then you get on a boat and go to one of the other islands. So it's possible that this kind of migration has taken place. We're not so much migrating people, though that's happened to a degree, as much as we're migrating goods. And in this case, Saipan and Tinian got hammered by Super Typhoon U2, and as a result, there has been almost an unbroken chain of relief supplies that have been arriving in Saipan and the CNMI. Some of it from the federal government, some of it FEMA, some of it Red Cross, etc. But my guess is the more serious bulk of goods has been coming from Guam. Can you back that claim up there, Ed?
Yeah, definitely. Because the way I've been looking at it for the past couple of weeks, it's relief supplies and it's human resources, and that's something that you mentioned earlier, aid, and that's when you drive around and you would see the GPA trucks. Then so me being from Guam, I know that the yellow license plates mean it's a government vehicle, right?
Yeah.
And I tell you, Ray, I'm driving down, Beach Road or Middle Road, and if I'm with one of my young staff members, I'll say, "Hey, that car's from Guam." And they say, "How'd you know?" And I'm like, "Look at the license plate is yellow." And I'd look at the side, and you'd see Guam Waterworks, and you'd see, of course, Guam Power Authority, and that's so appreciated by the people here, and even the airport, down to like Chuck Atta helping out the airport up here with the resources he has on Guam. It's just been incredible, the outreach. There's so many people to talk about, so many stories you hear of families on Guam, people on Guam that are helping everybody up here in Saipan.
Well, because one of these days it's going to be our turn, and we know that we know that there will be reciprocal activities coming from up there, and maybe in the form of manpower, maybe in the form of tarps, and but God, just thinking about the airport, I didn't think that you guys were going to be able to get that airport open for another 2 months.
Yeah, that was scary because the company that I operate, it's a tourism industry, and I'm in the tourism industry, so I didn't have any customers for 5 weeks. And what do I do next is I have to talk to my boss and say, do I send them home? But I don't want to send them home because these guys also have houses that got destroyed. Oh. These guys also have paychecks. So what I told my boss is I said, look, Azuda Foundation is going to send me these containers. Can I use your warehouse? Can I use, their manpower? Can I use their the security services and the space, the garage space, to distribute, pack, and get these things out to the people? And he did. And he said, no problem, Ed. I'll pay for their salaries. I'll pay for their hourly wages. Just go ahead and get these things out. So that was a huge help for me.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now tell me, in my mind, getting the things into the container. And like I said, the Judah Foundation, you got Frankie, you got Jimmy, you got a ton of volunteers. Yeah. They're good at lining up, getting the containers, having them dropped, and then bringing guys in that filled them up, and finding the materials that you need to get put in the containers, and then Matson or APL or somebody brings them up to Saipan. So that part's easy. Tell me about the distribution on your end, because it sounds like there was a formal kind of distribution going on, and then there was a kind of informal, almost bartery way that you had things moving.
Right. So the containers land on Saipan, and immediately after the typhoon, almost all the trucking companies. So my sister company, a Tan Holdings company, is CTSI. So every shipping company on Saipan, every trucking company is fully booked with FEMA. You can't move. They can't move left or right. They're either unloading airplanes from the military up at the airport with MREs and generators, and you can't get your container out. So we have containers sitting in the dock, in the port. You can't get it out. So I have to go to CTSI and talk to the manager down there and say, hey man, can you please get me this container out? And by luck and by timing, they were able to get the containers. Okay, so the container comes to my parking lot. What we do is we manually unload it. Mm-hmm. Then we take everything into the warehouse, and then my wife shows up with all her, she has these Shirley's Coffee Shop soccer players, and they're all the youth players, and I'm like, hey, I'll give you guys half a case of tuna if you help us unload and distribute. So what we would do is we would take all the items and pack it up into boxes or buckets or plastic bags, whatever we had, because we don't want, like for me personally, Ray, I cannot give 48 cans of sardines to one household. I have to spread it out as much as I can.
Sure.
So American Red Cross gave us 50 buckets. Eventually, another container with the Zuda came with about 350 buckets, and then we just kept loading as much as we can. And then the plastic bags, like I said, even trash bags. So we were able to assemble 2,000 some of these pieces. And what happens next is this: we have a van. So Kai Mero down on Guam, he's part of the Azuda Foundation. So he got 2 vans donated from Triple J. And what we did is we broke up all the staff and we said, okay, 3 people per van. 1 driver, 1 spotter, 1 person in the back. And all we would do is we would drive into every street, and the spotter would say, okay, that house is pull over. And we'd open the side of the van and come out and talk to the people, and we'd see that they needed, everybody's going to say, yes, I need relief supplies. Yeah. Yes, please, I'll take whatever. But that becomes a challenge because we have to make sure that it gets into the hands of the people that need it most. And my guys are from the southern villages, so they know the street, and they know the families, and they know the financial situations of certain locations within the villages. And after we were done doing all of the southern side, we moved on to like CAG.
So you were like laser pinpointing where some of this stuff needed to go. Obviously, it's a finite resources that you have available to you, and you want to make sure they get in the right hands. So you had guys that could bypass the guy over there. He's still got a roof, may not have electricity, a little bit of flooding, but he's not doing so bad. These guys over here are in a terrible spot, so we'll make sure that we get to them first.
Right, and it's exactly right. And it's looking at, I remember the Zuda Foundation, they paid $6,000 or $7,000 to get hundreds of cases of corn and peas and carrots to my warehouse. I've never seen this many, cases of canned vegetables, and it'll go in one day. And
yeah. I can already taste it. Some Spam and some tomato sauce. Oh my God.
Stuff, yeah, and we're being very conservative. We're not running out there like it's a parade, and driving by and throwing things to people on the side of the road. We're specifically stopping at particular houses, and we're getting information from FEMA, and we're getting information from a lot of the Army and Air Force guys that were up here as well. Those guys are great too. Some of them are still here. They would we would host something for them at my house every weekend, and then compare notes, and they'd say, Ed, did you get into this house? And I'd say, no, I didn't. But I'm like, but you guys, since you're putting up tents, can you take a look at this house we came across? So we would cross share our information on WhatsApp, and then on these weekend get-togethers.
Yeah, I was going to say WhatsApp is the tool that you can use, because then you've got information that's moving in real time between people that have an excess of goods that you might need, and you might have an excess of goods that will be going somewhere else. I hope that you guys don't ever have to do this again, but if you do, it's nice to know that there's some people with the experience to get it done.
I'm going to write a manual so that in case, this happens again and say I'm not here, I can just hand it off and say, hey, here's how you do it. But
it can be done, but there are the unknowns, the variables. You talk about people in the business community that went out of their way to help you. Jerry Tan among them, and the Jones family with Triple J Enterprises up there. I mean, these are, and everybody, even your volunteers, everybody was in a state of one kind of disaster in Saipan. Somebody lost everything, and in some cases, you get some people that didn't lose a lot, and you got people that lost everything, but everybody kind of pulling on that same recovery rope. I tell you what, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. We learned, I hope that we here on Guam have learned some lessons on almost the polite, genteel way that people handled this disaster, both on the aid providing side and the aid receiving side. I mean, people line up without a whole lot of complaint about lining up, on a 2-mile line to get non-potable water.
Yeah, and non-potable. So the biggest lines that I've seen up here. So the first one, yes, for water, for ice, for gas, and ultimately a couple weeks ago for the DNAP food stamps, which was a program by the governor that gives food stamps up to $700 to $900 to any family, regardless of income, or nationality, or immigration status.
You got to be able to replace. Yeah, you got to replace what was lost in the refrigerator, and if it depends. I guess it depends on just how well stocked Joe 10 is in some of the other stores to make sure that that could happen. Were the stores? I'm talking about some of the big department stores and grocery stores. Were they able to get their inventory back up to where it was prior to the storm reasonably quick?
I'd say so. I'd say so, and it would be only a few items that I remember you just couldn't find. Of course, it was batteries. You couldn't find batteries for a while. You could never find chainsaws. You could never find gas containers after the typhoon. Those are the top two things. Like if I had foresight and if I had some money to invest, I would have purchased 20 chainsaws and 70 gas tanks, because those are the two things that always run out. Because people look for it for their houses, and companies look for it for their businesses.
Yep. Yeah. What an adventure. Online, Shelley says that's your forte, and a big merry happy Christmas, brother, to you from our family.
Shelley, man, she's so cool. I really love her. She's like my sister, right? I know she's your sister, but she's like
she's like yours too. Well, I guess that makes us like brothers. Ed, listen, Merry Christmas. The last thought that I got in my head today is the same thought that I've had since virtually the day after the storm. We saw how bad things were up there, and my first thoughts were for the children of the CNMI here. Is it going to be a good Christmas for them, you suppose?
There's a lot of organizations out here that have conducted toy drives, that have dropped off as many toys as they can. You would go to the stores and you would see the boxes where they say drop off a toy, and they're always overflowing. Now, in terms of material possessions of a little gift, yes, I think a lot of children will get a little gift or something, but I just want to share one story here. Maybe 2 weeks after the typhoon, we went out to do distributions, and I met a little girl. I went to a house with my guys, and I saw a girl that about 6 or 7 years old, and I walked in there with some candy and a school supply set, and I tried giving it to her, and she couldn't look at me, and I said, okay, maybe because I'm a big guy, right, little kids, and the mom said, I'm sorry, she can't talk, and I said, well, is she okay? And the mom said, every time the wind blows, she thinks she's gonna die.
Aye.
And she's like 6 years old. So we went back maybe 2 or 3 days later, and I brought my kids. And I said, this is my daughter, Stacy, my daughter, Edward. And then they started, playing a little bit. And I talked to the mom, and the mom said, yeah, all of her cousins, all the little kids are so scared. Every time it rains or when the wind blows, they're terrified. So, will it be a good Christmas? I think for 70% of the island which has power, I'm sure it'll be. But right now I'm talking to you from a parking lot in Susupi, and there's no power down here, and there won't be any power tomorrow during Christmas Day.
Susupi's in the middle of the island. How come there's no power yet?
Because Susupi and Siargao Kanoa are, the construction of the houses and the buildings are so close to each other that when one building flew, the next one flew, and the next one flew, and it was a nonstop pattern all throughout the streets. And it's not that GPA and CUC don't have the equipment, from what I hear. It's just that the wires are still a tangled mess, and there's still, power poles that are missing everything, and it's going to take a while to get this particular section up and running.
Well, if the people in Saipan are anything like the people around here, there's nobody's going to go hungry tomorrow, and everybody's going to get something cold or hot or air conditioned, and so somebody's going to invite everybody up to the house. Susupi and Siargao will probably empty out tomorrow, as everybody's going to go north for their celebrations.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, buddy.
And then,
so let me know when things are cool. I'll come up there and we'll hang out together and eat some lobster on the beach.
Okay. Merry Christmas, Guam. Merry Christmas, Ray. Take care.
All right, Ed Dariola from the Fiesta up there, with kind of a situation report on where they are now, but how they got to where they are. We were talking, Kevin and I were talking just this morning about another disaster, and in Indonesia with another, what did they have, volcano go up or some kind of shelf underwater go south, and now they have been hit with a tsunami out there. 2,100 people that we know of are dead, including apparently a concert that was on the beach when the water came in.
Yeah, on a larger scale, the volcano that erupted is named Anak Krakatau, which is child of Krakatau. It is the same volcano that exploded back in the 1800s and caused winter to keep going here in the Northern Hemisphere for about 3 years. And this is actually it's a super volcano. It's been a hot spot throughout. There have even been extinction events that have been.
I've seen documentaries on this. People have been watching this thing grow all of these years, and finally popped.
Well, it did. What it does is it in its small stages, it keeps growing, and then it'll pop a little bit and relieve some of the pressure, and then it'll quiet down again, and then build back up, and then pop again. This time, when it popped, though, it caused a flank slide on the side of the volcano, and it just happened to be facing towards where this beach and things were. So it created, it was a very localized tsunami situation. I think the more important thing to watch out, though, for is the fact that this thing is actually kind of starting to spout a little more and a little more often, and has been for the past couple of years. And if this thing were to really blow like it can, man, we could see another really weird weather situation shape up. But for now, right now, let's just put our thoughts.
We'll back up on that. People are saying, "What do you mean it caused the winter to last longer?" And the reason why is because it is, if I understand the story right, when Krakatoa, or however you want to pronounce it, when it went up, it threw tons and tons and tons and tons of material up into the air.
Absolutely, yeah. The cubic tons of debris that went up there, the mind can't really even comprehend.
Right.
The whole mountain basically went up in the atmosphere. It blocked the sunlight.
It blocks the sun.
And when it does that, everything just cools off, and that's when they had the winter that would not end up in the Northeast.
Yeah.
It's actually well documented in the history of up in the Northeast, Boston and things. And so kind of keeping an eye on that. But again, for now, let's just put our thoughts and prayers for those that were affected by this event that happened yesterday.
Well, it wasn't the Boxing Day event, and maybe that's one of the things that people will remember best and put together and say, well, the Boxing Day disaster, I mean, how many people died in that one? Back when that one went off.
Yeah, there were hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, and they again make movies about that one. 888-255-888-TALK. It just I wonder if for some people in certain parts of the world they go, well, we're getting close to the holidays and Boxing Day. I wonder if we're going to have something happening around here. It's 9:26 in the morning. We'll take a break in a couple of minutes and talk about that. But I, it's 2 hours late, but I feel like I got to get it in there anyway. It's Monday here. And we're moving into a holiday week, and what they say should be a fairly quiet time on the market. And this one might actually end up to be a quiet time on the market. We're going to watch volume decrease in trading, and that's because everybody is afraid of the markets these days. Have you seen, as an example, where the Dow Jones Industrial Average? For those of you like me, just kind of casual, every once in a while, investors, the only reason why I pay attention to it is because I got to talk about it on the radio, right? But Dow at 22,448, just a handful of points away from where it needs to be before they say officially bear market.
Okay, now, I don't usually like to go on and say I told you so. But a few months back, I warned you that this was going to happen because it's a lesson in history. I'm one of those people that believes history repeats itself, and in this particular case, it's absolutely true. Back in the early 1920s, they did some regulation relief for the financial sector, and in 29, the market crashed. They did the same thing in the 80s. And in 88, the market crashed. They did the same thing not too long ago, and the market's crashing. So it's just history repeating itself. It will stop at some point. It will recover. But it's just one of those cyclical things that take place.
And you can see them. There's guys that can pinpoint the graphs and stuff like that. What will be interesting to me is how many people might have taken your advice, heard your predictions, and done something about it, and selling where you could at the highs, coming off of these highs, as opposed to trying to dump when everything is low, as they will be in the bear. Dow Jones Industrial 22,445. The NASDAQ lost almost 200 points on their Saturday, 6,333. S&P 500 down by 50 points. Now we're talking about the scale of the loss here in the markets. And even though the Dow lost 414 points on their Friday, our Saturday, that's still less than 2%. The S&P 500 lost about 2% worth of its value on the weekend, going into the weekend. But the NASDAQ almost 3% down, 195 points worth of a loss for them. Now, the FTSE is up, Nikkei is down, where Hang Seng, Shanghai are unchanged, and the DAX is up by just a nothing of a percentage. So that's what we've got happening on the markets here as we kind of meander into that territory. Like I said, I think we're going to see the volume trading fairly low. Should be a quiet week. Should already be a quiet week, but it should not have been a major sell-off week. They're thinking that this time of year should be kind of okay getting into 2019. But what's that all about? Well, there's a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, and one thing we can hope is actually the holidays. Giving everybody kind of some downtime will help them relax a little bit, and then when we go into the new year, things will pick back up.
Gotcha. Now, the other numbers that we like to look at, and most of the commodities are flat over the last couple of days. But I did want to share this with you. West Texas crude. Last time I looked at the numbers with you, it was Friday morning, $46.21 for a barrel of West Texas crude oil. That number now is $45.59. So what's that? 60 cents worth of value?
Yeah.
Off that West Texas crude? That's all right. On the Tapis, which turns into gasoline, $59.76 is where we left it the other day, $59.76. The new trading dollar, and it'll be here for a couple of days, is $57.89. Yes. $57.89. Now I don't know how that factors into the calculus of the guys over at the gas stations and what they may or may not want to do with that information, but it would sure be nice as you're driving around this morning wow, it'd be super nice is if you're driving around this morning and you start to see the numbers change and we get a 3 back there, a 3 something, $3.99,
That would be nice,
$3.99 and 9/10 cents, right? Could we do that for Christmas? Come on, guys. It'd be easy. I mean, for some of the gas stations, it would be as easy as pushing the button over at the home office, at the shop, right? Because some of these are like LED electronic signs. Take no effort. Have one guy, one lady in the office. 3.99.9. It could be done as I'm speaking about it now. 9:31, and that's iConnect time. Swing by the nearest iConnect today, and they're going to be open for a little bit, and find out about their annual plans for push-to-talk and mobile and internet. Sign up for one, and you're automatically entered for a chance to win a ticket for 2 tickets, you and a friend, in Manila, which is in the Philippines, which I'm told is a great place to be around the holidays. Got Jose Marichan music, and if you can do it around, I don't know, New Year's, it's supposed to be some incredible fireworks, right? I know what you're thinking. There's fireworks every time I go to Manila. Keep it to yourself. 9:31 in the morning. Be right back.
Welcome to the annual holiday swap. Harold, you first.
Oh, it's a Subway card.
Wow. Nice. Sharon?
I'm going to take the Subway card.
Oh, Harold, now you can choose a new gift.
I think I'll just take that Subway card right back.
Okay.
I don't think you can do that, Harold. Stuff it, Glenn. This is between me and Sharon.
A Subway card is the gotta-have-it gift. With cards from $5 up to any amount, you'll give a gift and get a gift, too. Get a free 40-ounce fountain drink with a $20 load, or get a free regular 6-inch sub with a $30 load on any Subway card. Subway, make it what you want at participating restaurants.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
I found a way to tick off every woman in my life. A friend of mine sent it. I'm not going to get him in trouble with me, Mark Cruz. But he sent me this meme. And so I repackaged it and sent it to a bunch of groups that I hang out with on Facebook, et cetera, et cetera. It says, be extra careful on the roads. With Christmas around the corner, a lot of men will be drinking and getting their wives to drive. And I'm getting some responses from some female friends that were on these WhatsApp chats that I've sent it to. Oh yeah, we're way better drivers than men, or I drive like a man, so it doesn't apply to me. I see what you're doing there. 933-888-8255. That's 888-TALK. Here we are, deep into the holidays, and it's almost there. We're almost there. It's Christmas. In how many hours? What time is it now? 9:33? 13, 14, 15 hours and change? Is that what we got between here and there and the start of the Christmas holidays? And so what's the plan? Is there going to be midnight mass? We don't do a midnight mass. We did. I think I got to check. It's somewhere. You know, I know exactly where it is.
Where is it at?
It's on my desk. I don't want to get it. I'm lazy. What time is mass tonight? No, I'm asking, yeah, as they say on the internet, asking for a friend. What time is midnight mass? Don't be thinking, well, duh, it's at midnight. There are some places that will do your midnight mass about 9 o'clock at night for exactly the same reason as we wanted it to be that way when I was a kid. I remember going to midnight mass with Grandma and Uncle Jim. And that was a for real midnight mass. I mean, it was in the middle of the night when you'd get home. But the reason why we would suffer through this was because the rule at Grandma's house was we're going to midnight mass, and after the mass you can open up a present. All of the rest of it has to wait until tomorrow when the whole family's together. Okay, Grandma, that's all right. And so it kind of like to have a sense of what's under the tree before you start opening it. So, you know, the entire time you're in mass, not paying attention, you're strategically mapping out the layout of everything underneath the tree, i.e., there's a big box. It smells like Tokyo. Maybe that's one of my cool electronic toys from Uncle Jim. You know, and you tried to avoid the square boxes that were about 2.5 inches, 3 inches tall, because that probably meant it was clothes.
Yeah. And
you don't want to waste your one good Christmas package opening for clothes. At least, you know, it's funny. At least I didn't know. You know, I was 56 years old, and yeah, clothes would be all right. Size medium on the shirt, size 32 and 30, 32 waist and 30 long on the pants. And if you're buying me shorts, very short.
I almost bought you some Winnie the Pooh footy PJs.
Oh,
yeah.
That would have been. I would have happily taken that. Jerry Roberts is handing me the scripts for a couple of recorded versions of the Extra Point that we'll be doing for you a little bit later on. Lacia, nice to see you online this morning. Why have you not been at Jimmy D's on the last 2 Sundays? What's going on there? Frankie Gutierrez, Rachel Jordan, Brad Hewitt's found us this morning, Annette Unpinko Ada, who must happily be spending the holidays with family, mom and dad. That's nice. May Arile is online. I see Ted Lewis wishing Merry Christmas, Ramon and Kevin and Michael and Blake, Bob Camacho, Ramona Nakamura, Bob and Connie Bartonico. Nice to see you there. Sorry I missed you at the Sanchez race. Was out actually goofing off until small hours on Saturday, and there was no way that I was going to. Let me put it this way. I got hung up with the wrong crowd on Saturday night, and by the time I was making my way home, it was about the same time as I would have waken up to go and run.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was like that. And I decided that I was going to take a rest day. Saturday needed to be a rest day. But I hope everybody had a good time. Manai Iijima probably never gets any rest days. Rita Hugo, Nate DeKnight, Greg Sablon. Greg, are you open today? Is there American music today? Can we go in there and buy a guitar, a ukulele, or a drum set? That's what you need to do. That's what you need to buy somebody a little junior drum set. I'm thinking Blake. You know what, the two babies? There was a time in my life somebody give Mason a toy that made noise. I would take the toy apart and
take the noisy part out.
Take the noisy part out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and then there was also a time where everybody thought it'd be fun to give Miami little musical instruments like recorders and stuff like that. Yeah, never made it home. 9. What? I am the Grinch. I am the Grinch. There we go. Bob Camacho wishing us a happy birthday. Oh, no, happy Merry Christmas. Lasia says, Happy New Year from Cambodia. Well, that's why you haven't been over at Jimmy's place. All right, groovy, I understand. You don't have to, but I'd appreciate it. And I say this to all of my friends when they go traveling. I have not been doing a lot of traveling lately. I'd like to. But if you are in Cambodia, refrigerator magnet. I'm sure somewhere in Cambodia is a store that has refrigerator magnets like the kind they have over at the DFS and places like that. How do you even get there from here? What are these? We'll have to talk about all of this. Items in the table of content. You know, what is it? This is the last hour of the program. Last, 20 minutes of the program anyway. And always get into what I like to consider the small talk portion of the program. Trust me, magnet. Yes, refrigerator magnet. That's what I'm going to be looking for from you the next time I see you. We are at holiday part 1, 4-day holiday part 1. The very generous Calvo Tenorio administration that spent, oddly, most of the first part of the year telling us how broke we were is now splurging. Thanksgiving holiday, kind of a surprise. Not really. We all felt. I could feel. I knew it was going to be happening. It's just just waiting for the confirmation. And what was it on Friday morning? This time Friday morning we were talking about it because I just had that feeling. My spidey sense was telling me that there was going to be another surprise holiday. And the answer from the administration was, we don't have a signed executive order at this time.
Right.
Yeah. You got to wait until there's a signature. Somebody's got to write a speech about how great and hardworking everybody is around here. Well, not everybody gets the day off, if you know what I mean. So there's that, and then my spidey sense is also tingling, telling me that on Friday there will be another pronouncement about, well, you know what, everybody's great and hardworking, and what a great way to end the year. And revel in the fact that there is no fiscal crisis before us at this time. And you know why there's no fiscal crisis at this time? Because they kicked up the business privilege tax by 1%. And a lot of businesses got no choice but to eat that. So we have to work on these days off to support everybody else that is not working because they got the day off. Well, there goes the productivity for the day and all of that. So that's what we have to look forward to. So if you are otherwise incensed about the whole thing, just tomorrow, and it'll be Wednesday, we'll all be back to work for Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, and that'll be another 4-day break in between here and the 3rd of 2019. It just is. So kind of get used to that idea. Oh, yeah? I didn't take a picture of it, Shell. So, and I didn't want to talk about it. But Shelly pre-Christmased me with something yesterday, came by the house, and dropped off a kumzu from a guy named Gamboa, but not Roy down south. I think it was one of Roy's cousins that lives up north. Anyway, so it's mostly a kumzu. Right now, it's a short bench because it does not have the metal implement that you would use to kumzu the coconut. And so Mike's looking at me. I've got a blank look on his face, like, what? What's a kumzu? Is that something nasty that you can order up in a massage parlor? A kumzu is the device that we use to get the coconut, husk the coconut, open the coconut, drain off the milk, and you use the kumzu to scrape out the meat of the coconut.
Oh, kind of like what I use, can opener.
Or a bag, right? If you want something like that. So anyway, that's the gizmo that we use around here, and so she got me just the bench part of it. Apparently, there's a place I've got to go to get a piece of steel that has been cut into something that is the implement that you would bolt down to the kumzu to make it operational. All right, well, keep an eye out for him. There's more local goodness on the way from that guy. 9:42 in the morning. So we already holidays part 1, part 2. You can be outraged about it, or you can just go, well, that's the way it is, and we'll see what happens in the next administration. Will the next administration pay a little bit more attention to the value of the tax dollars that all of us are putting in there, and not, as Bob Klitsky says, stick it to the taxpayer every chance they get. Just keep an eye out for all of that. And then what have we got here on the thing? I did want to mention it's in the stack of newspapers that's on the desk, but I do want to thank the guys over at the Guam Daily Post. They did a great love piece. I don't know if you saw it over the weekend, talking about Landon and Brandon Adlet, or Idlet. I don't pronounce it any way you want to, but the two guys, the twins, that do all that work over at the National Weather Service. And it's not the only thing that they do. I mean, they're also big musicians, and they play in all of the symphonies and that kind of thing. Just a couple of terrific guys. And I knew from the very first time that I met them, I knew that they were going to be a real plus in this community. I mean, they were already working with kids out in the village, and volunteering and all kinds of things, and just becoming great parts of the community. And that was, I don't know, it was 5, 6, 7 years ago when I first met them. And like I said, just absolutely delighted that somebody besides me has seen the value of these two young men. Pretty soon won't be able to call them that, but I'm glad that the National Weather Service brought them out here, and I'm glad that these guys decided to stay. I think they're terrific, and I hope that there are more like them that find their ways to Guam one day or the other. So the federal government shut down. Did you see that? The Congress tried to work out a couple of things, and didn't look like they were going to get any traction, so everybody went home. And Fox News all day yesterday lamenting the fact that unlike here, there are people in the government that are working but aren't getting paid. Right? So the opposite of not working and getting paid is apparently what's happening for some guys in the federal government. I don't know too many people like that, and I don't know what's going to be happening with Kevin was talking about park services and some of the essentials, defense of the country. That's not going to change. And thankfully, the post office is going to continue to do what the post office does, and that is make a window if you are one of the unlucky few that have to go and pick your stuff up at the. Don't you hate that? Don't you? When you open up the mailbox and there's a yellow card. Oh, yellow card. I don't like yellow cards. That's just, and evidence to the contrary. I have to say evidence to the contrary, because I tell you what, I've probably waited longer for pizza in a restaurant than I have standing in line at the post office. Generally, when that happens, I'll swing by the Barragata post office, and I will always dread it. You charge up your phone so you can WhatsApp and you can Facebook and do all of that stuff while you're in line. And generally, I have to say, that has been a faster process for me than has been in the past. So maybe it's the new postmaster that's running things these days, but I think that they're doing it. Otherwise, I have slept like a baby since the federal government shut down. Have you noticed anything that's gone on? National Weather Service still working, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So they're still
they're
up.
Fine. Yeah,
okay.
They're still. I mean, I don't know.
So can we say so the federal government is shut down and we haven't noticed? Does that mean all of the people that they've sent home should probably just find something else to do, because it's really not necessary? What are they doing that's so important that they would have to be called back? Can we not just, I don't know, enjoy the savings or something like that? 946-888-8255. That's 888-TALK. There's $1 million or so in tax refunds that are going out, and that has turned into a kind of a yawn story. Used to be right after April 17th is when we'd start getting telephone calls here at the radio station asking, hey, when are the tax refunds going to be coming out? Don't those tax refunds need to be coming out? Isn't that going to be happening like right now soon? And now here it is. We're months into the process, and now it's just tardy filers that are getting their tax refunds these days. And most people have already gotten those and just kind of yawn at that story like it doesn't apply to them. Like you remember when U2 was going north and it stopped being a threat to Guam, and all of a sudden we all broke out in our bikinis and got our coolers out and hit the beach? Almost. Same attitude. Same thing. There's, I don't know, there's a handful of other things that are playing around in my head, and we'll get around to it. One of them is, and I can never take my eyes. People that have known me listen to the broadcast over the years know that there's things that I watch out for. And so I can kind of gauge the health of the community. And there used to be, once upon a time, I learned this trick from my old man, although it doesn't apply anymore. He would go from his office on one side of Agania, over by, there's a coffee place downstairs. But right across from Bank Pacific is where my dad used to work. And every day he'd walk from there, behind the buildings, across Skinner Plaza, over to another set of buildings, to where behind the Bank of Hawaii is now. Used to be a restaurant there called Take 5. And he would gauge the strength of the economy by the number of tour buses that were parked in Agania around 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. Because you see a lot of tour buses, that must mean there's a lot of tours here, and that's good. You don't see a lot of tour buses, then that means there's not a whole lot of tourists here, and that's bad. And then it was a simple kind of, thumb that you could kind of look at and say, okay, this is how we gauge the health of it. Doesn't necessarily apply anymore because the sheer volume of tourists that are coming in, especially from Japan, where they like to ride tour buses. You can still see a lot of tourists down in the Agania in the historic district, but they drove themselves. So it's hard to tell, and it's not like you can spot a rent-a-car right away. Korean driver, yes, not necessarily a rent-a-car. There's a habit, I hope I'm not profiling, not really. Sorry, not sorry, but is it me, or have you noticed that when some of these Korean drivers, they get kind of lost on the roadway, they just stop the car.
They will stop right in the road and check their phones.
Yeah. More than once have had to kind of, in the nicest version of the beep that I possibly could, and say, this is not the side of the road. You cannot. Is that done there?
That's an interesting question. I have no idea. I do not know that question.
It freaks me out every time I see it. Because you can look the other way when they go down, unmarked one-way streets, of which there's more than one or two in the downtown Agania area. Even in my case, I still go the wrong way down a one-way street just because back in the old days it wasn't like that. And so I'm absolutely guilty of the same thing. But like I said, and I saw it on Marine Drive just the other day. I'm driving the side of the road, and this guy just kind of pulls over, doesn't even put the hazards on, just stops on the outside lane of Marine Corps Drive, blocking up traffic out in front of, where were we? Out in front of AK, as a matter of fact. I just thought that was the craziest thing in the whole wide world. Daryl Taggarty on Facebook Live this morning saying, Merry Christmas, everyone. God bless us all. Mark Cruz waving around. See who else has come in the last couple of minutes. No, that's it. I think going to have to be satisfied with the quorum that we've got here today. But the riff was heading in one direction before I got distracted by conversations about Korean driving. But here's another way that I kind of like to keep track of the health of what we're doing here is the number of jobs that are out there. And the jobs for which people are advertising for. It seems to me there's a healthy number of them. I don't know how well-paying they all are, but there's a handful out there that sound like they could be fun. SCMS in Tumulong, looking for equipment maintenance, looking for somebody that's mechanically inclined. Yeah, I'm kind of clever that way, but don't put me in charge of anything really important. They're also looking for a driver for a Bluebird bus. So you've got to have a particular kind of driver's license in order to get that. It's a Type D, I guess they're looking for. And maybe that's something that might work for you. And then there's this job here. And one of these days, when I get tired of being managing partner and I just want to yak on the radio, maybe this ought to be my exit plan. What do you say? So let somebody else be the managing partner of the radio station, and then what I would get to do is leave here about 9, right? And go and work someplace. The Coco Palm Beach Resort has openings for maintenance staff. Well, that's code words for I got to take out the trash and clean the toilets. No. Beach attendant.
No, that's what you're talking about. Right
see?
there. That's a job where you wear shorts and sunscreen.
Ops supervisor. No. After a while, do you really want to be in management? That versus beach attendant. Okay, still leaning towards beach attendant. And facility supervisor. Doesn't facility supervisor sound like you're the guy that they'd call at 4 o'clock in the morning when the toilets don't flush?
Yep.
Exactly. So I say, thank you very much. Valid driver's license, health certificate. I can get one or both. And that's it. Coco Palm Beach opening for beach attendant. That just sounds like hot pants all day. Bikinis and hot pants.
I'm looking for a position of drink tester.
I think you can get that almost anywhere. But you just got to pay for it. Currently 9:52 in the morning as we're making our way towards the end of the program. Tell you what, we'll take a quick break, and I'll figure out how I'm going to kill about 7.5 minutes until the top of the hour.
Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from King's Restaurants. Give a gift they are sure to love. Delicious food and friendly fun at King's. Get a coupon for a free single crepe with every $20 gift card purchase. Extra holiday happiness from King's Restaurants. Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from Chuck E. Cheese's Guam, Ruby Tuesday, and King's Restaurants. Receive special offers with every purchase for extra holiday happiness. See stores for details and have fun this season from all of us at the GFS Group.
Guam Regional Medical City. We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu.
6 minutes away from my Christmas. That's the way I'm looking at it. You feel the same way? Like it's Christmas after the show is done, and then we're not going to see each other until Wednesday morning, bright and or early. I've never been both. It's 9:54 or so in the morning, and the couple of other stories I was playing around with is just thinking about the world as I was going through the makeup of the table of contents. Did you see what they were doing at Gatwick Airport in London?
Oh, with the drones.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'm a technology guy, right? I like technology. I don't actually own a drone. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink to everybody that's thinking about me at Christmas time and got a few extra $100 to spare. I don't currently own one of them. And I like to think, hey, Phil, what time is the mall closing tonight? Phil Schroggy's on the Facebook Live. Just type it in there, buddy. What time is everything going to be closing up? That's all we need to know. And what's going to be open tomorrow? And if you get that to me fast enough, I'll be able to read it online and on the air to everybody. But anyway, so I don't currently have one. And I'd like to think that if I had a drone, I would use it for good and not darkness. I would not, because it would be easy. It'd be easy, wouldn't it? What's this, drone? I could turn off the lights and then fly it over the swimming pool at the hotel. Fly the thing over at the beach and get low and see exactly what kind of bikini that is. I would not use it for that. But these apparently drone enthusiasts in England have decided that one of the things that they wanted to do was apparently through some kind of environmental protest, basically shut the airport down, and they did. Every time the authorities thought that they were in the clear and they could reopen the airport, another drone would go up, and you just can't fly. We got laws around here. Don't fly the drones close to the airport because it's going to be bad for the plane if it gets hit or if it goes through the windshield. I mean, literally, hundreds of people can get killed. And so they were having a hard time controlling this, and then found, I love this, and I want to know more about it. They were able to find a company, I guess, out of Israel that has invented a thing called a drone dome. And it's not a physical thing. I guess it's electronic, and it sends out a signal that jams, anywhere in the circumference of this dome would jam an outside drone signal. So these guys would be able to lock in, because my guess is they're all in the same, citizens band area, about 27 something megahertz, right? Low FM. Right. So my guess is that's where those things are at. So they'd be able to jam the outside signals and lock in on a signal, and then take the drones over while they're inside this drone dome.
Wow, nice.
I thought that was about the coolest thing in the world, right? I want one. Do we have one of those here? Do we have a drone dome? Are we allowed to say? Does the Guam International Airport have a drone dome? Will that be among the requirements? Brett says, I'm not going to give it to you for Christmas, but you can borrow my DJI Phantom 4 whenever you want it. I don't know, Brad. I'm perfectly capable of breaking other people's technology. Yeah, I test drove that Lexus last week. Right, had a good time with it, but the entire time I was on pins and needles, because I'm not a good driver, and B, I didn't want to park it someplace where it would get prammed by somebody.
That's the thing, yeah.
I've got a degree of control that I can do over that, but the other stuff I don't know about that. So drone domes, put that down on the list of things I think we need. So when Virgin Orbit comes into work with Chuck Ed and the guys over at the airport, they've got that kind of technology to prevent me from using Brett's drone to go and screw things up over at the airport. There's that story, and then I'm going to watch this with a great deal of interest. Let me just jump back into a local. Now let me stay in the technology. This one here had me scratching my head from the second I saw it. A terrible story about a guy who's gotten busted for having sex with a 15-year-old. Yeah. Apparently consensual sex, but then you get into how the heck did this happen? And he met her on Tinder. And I'm, without putting too fine a point on it, Mom and Dad, pick up your kids' phones and see what it is that they are a part of, what it is that they're playing around with, and who it is that they might be talking to. And you're going to say, well, I hate to pry, kids' privacy and all this other stuff. Go ahead. Pry. It's all right. Make that a condition of being able to use your phones and your pads and whatever into 2019. I need to know exactly what is on it, and somebody's mom and dad needed to unlock a phone and find out why a 15-year-old would have Tinder on the phone. Not that that's the only one. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Tinder all by itself. But what is a 15-year-old doing with a dating app, and what is a 15-year-old doing matching up with people clearly outside of her age range? I think this is one of those cases where I wonder if everybody is guilty. 10 o'clock in the morning. Hey, we're not going to be together. Programming note, don't wake up. Don't be looking for a note on your Facebook that we're live or your YouTube live. It is one of a handful of holidays that we actually take here in the morning show. So on behalf of Michael Nett, let me say, Michael, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.
And I hope you have a pleasant one. I know that Kevin Kerrigan's going to as well, and Blake Watson, and everybody that has been a part of the Ray Gibson Show. Thanks so much, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Merry Christmas.
In a holding pattern. I'm Steve Rappaport, Fox News. No breakthrough in sight to end the government shutdown as the White House and Democrats remain deadlocked on funding for a border wall. Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney.
As to what the number is, all I can tell you is that the Democrats offered us, I think they offered us $1.6 billion a couple weeks ago. Then they offered the president $1.3 billion this week. That's a negotiation that seems like it's going in the wrong direction. We've insisted on 5, but the discussions now are between 1.6 and 5.
Senate Democrat Jeff Merkley argues a wall isn't a practical solution.
30-foot concrete wall, 30 spikes. That's not the smart way, and that's what all the experts on the border tell us.
Both appearing on ABC's this week. Defense Secretary James Mattis stepping down 2 months ahead of schedule. President Trump on Twitter naming Deputy Defense Chief Patrick